All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to yet another wonderful night of Teamfight Tactics here at Tranquility Gaming. My name is Train. I will be one of your three hosts tonight,
Oh my
and I'm
god,
joined
it's so
today by
loud.
Kraken and Polar. So, how are you guys
Ooh.
today?
That's why I just mute the stream.
Going great.
Train.
Excited for some
Let me just
TFT for
see if I
sure.
can grind to 1,000 points.
All right, what about you, Kraken?
I'm good.
Sorry, I'm here.
Mike,
I'm
can
locked
you
in. I'm good. I'm
deafen
ready
Discord,
for some
Mike?
teamfight tactics.
Deafen Discord, Mike.
I'm ready to have a fun time.
All right, so we're going to just go ahead and jump straight into Lobby A here, get the show on the road, and we're going to be beginning with Apathy's perspective as he gets this lobby headed in. Looks like they are beginning lobby now. All right. So I know I have a lot of TFT experience, and I've been annoying about it in Trank chat ad nauseum, I'm sure. So what can you guys tell us about your experience with TFT?
I think I once made it to silver. I Most of my TFT experience is watching you stream it while I'm at work. That it'll be like an early morning, uh, like chill, and it used to be in the good old days that trained TFT would be live on Twitch, and I'd just be like, "Oh, cool! Like he's streaming TFT again." That was it. So that's my experience.
The good old days.
I know. Take me back.
What about you, Polar?
I've been in the trenches since day one. I've been getting grimy. I know there's all these Reddit analysts, whatever, Challenger, Reddit, made up ranks they got, but I've been with the people in silver, gold, grinding my way through every set. So if anyone knows bad TFT, it's gonna be me for sure.
Oh yeah, so Polar's our resident rank 1 TFT player, NA.
Yeah, I believe he
Absolute
made
master.
it like top 25 before, so he's seen a thing or two.
Yeah, I've gone from Iron to rank 28 Challenger, which I just hit the season.
Yeah. So you know all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy stuff like what the items do and like
Yeah, I know how to build like almost every item.
Almost every item.
Like I know I know I know a lot of stuff here.
All right, that's pretty hype.
All right. So we got some experts in the call for sure.
Someone is playing on a potato, and so we are just being stuck.
It may be potato. That's very possible as well.
Lobby. So sound off in Trank Twitch chat if you are in fact the culprit of such bad connection. Also, Polar Mr. Yeti Cast is kind of roasting you in Twitch chat right now, asking why it sounds like you're 45 miles away from your microphone.
Oh well, it's just like I said, I've been everywhere. Right, 45 miles away is not somewhere I've been before. But yeah, as a TFT player and as a challenger player, you gotta know how to get it done, whether you're close, close to winning or far away. But that's neither.
Yeah. We got MagPolar on the nav mic from Yosemite. That he's the original Astro World cut. You're just in the other room casting. You're watching from the balcony.
My bars are like braille. You gotta feel what I'm saying.
All right, so it looks like our first lobby is taking quite a while to load here. We may flip back to casters in a second while it loads, but maybe not. Things will hopefully start moving along. But just like a whole lot of things in gaming, we know that TFT goes through a pretty regular, pretty consistent patch cycle, and they end up having some bigger patches than most other games. And so now we are on to, I believe this is set 9 of TFT. So we're all the way through like 9 or 13 different versions.
Ooh, let's go.
And so here we're loading in, we're going to observe our first real major change for this set of TFT, which are these initial portals off the rip. So there's a bit of a democratic voting system on what kind of rules the lobby wants to play with. and we are going for Orin's Forge, where everybody will get an opportunity to choose a unique item from Orn throughout the course of the game.
Just a
And Apathy wins!
Okay.
He won the vote!
Oh, he's done it!
He's the chosen one!
He's generational!
Okay,
All right.
that's a good start. Poppy off the bat as well. Love me a Poppy.
Yeah,
For sure.
Poppy's kind of crazy. Train, and your experience in this set so far, give me two answers, two quick answers. What do you think is the strongest comp to roll right now in this set, and what do you think is the easiest comp to run in this set? Like, what are you expecting we see here tonight?
All right, so that's a really good question, and I think
He's
we
got four
actually.
Kales
Oh my
in the
gosh,
first
the
round.
Kale
What the hell
game?
is that?
What in the world?
Hey,
All right. Well, I know what he's playing.
Whoa. Okay, I guess Apathy's playing Kale.
yeah, he's getting his veggies in for sure.
Wow, that's pretty rare.
Sorry. Okay.
And definitely a playable comp from there. But in terms of strongest comps this patch, we're actually kind of lucking out with the timing of the TTFTT this time around, because I think this is probably one of the most balanced states that we've ever seen TFT. Pretty much every carry is viable to some extent, and the kind of prevailing theory on best comp is just play Ari, who's like a five cost sorcerer damage carry. But obviously, there's a lot of game to get through before you get all the way down to level 9. So I'm sure we'll see a lot of variety. There are some easier things as well, like the kind of Kale reroll or Tristana reroll that Apathy has been hyping up in chat. Karma rerolls in there too. So a pretty wide variety, but I'm sure we'll see some different styles start to emerge here.
Nice.
More
Right,
Kale.
So we have two.
Oh my gosh, the
two-star
Kale.
Kales and a Rage Blade at 2-1, which is kind of illegal.
It might actually be the best random start I've ever seen. Kale reroll is not like an OP comp. It's not insane, but it is really good, especially if you can hit your units early. And Apathy is hitting the units early. He took Pandora's items so that he can ensure he gets the best possible items on his Kale. And this is looking like a free game for Apathy, like almost brainless from here on out.
Yeah, I almost feel bad because now it just looks so blatantly scripted, and like normally on Tranquility, we like to keep the scripting to a minimum, that we don't want it to be too obvious.
I mean, tell that to the Discord tier finals.
But to choose to spectate Apathy first, and then to watch him get 2 silver Kales or 2-star Kales at 2-2. I don't know. It's the script is leaking, so I'm not sure what we do here.
So Apathy's game is really boring from here, unfortunately. Like he's going to just play something strong. He's going to roll for Kale. He's going to click on all the Slayer units, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering how you guys feel about switching over to a different perspective for this early game.
I think that is probably a good idea. Let's wait until this combat finishes, and then I want to go spectate whoever's the lowest HP.
Okay, I think that's a great idea. I'm very curious.
It just turns into a Cinderella story for the rest of the game. That's my plan.
We're building narratives here at Tranquility
Although
Gaming.
it looks like he might lose to Yeti anyway.
That's part of the challenge. Is this Kale
really
comp
close.
doesn't really get online until level 6.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really the point where we'll see Apathy just win streak for the rest of the game.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like Potatoes in last. So how do we feel about going and spectating?
All right.
Potatoes.
So let's flip over to Potatoes' point of view and see what we can learn from his early game here. All right. And Polar, what is sticking out to you immediately?
This guy with a 2-star Jin, dude, Jin is just so annoying. He just completely puts your backline in a pack once he gets his ult online. And yeah, like this KO is about to get one shot. I can just feel it. IE is getting a crit for sure. The casters are on him now. He's getting a crit.
Yeah, the Infinity Edge, we are smoking big apathy pack surely in this map. Jin's gonna put him in a box. Watch this. Oh, it's gonna be generational.
Bang!
Oh my god, he just
Oh,
one
he
shot
missed.
the Maokai.
Oh my god.
So that's the problem with Jin, man. I love this unit. I think he's just so cool. I love the burst damage. But he's got to be the most inconsistent one cost of all time. Like, sometimes he'll kill your backline, like, 3 characters at once. And sometimes he'll ult a tank that's already dead. And you just
honestly,
miss entirely.
after that miss, I'd sub him out. Like, you can't be missing those if you're looking for a championship here. Like,
You're getting benched,
Action's on
buddy.
the bench, he's hungry. Like, in those big early games, you can't be just whipping them.
Get ready to speak Noxian, buddy. All right, we are sending you to the depths of
you are going to the Shadow Realm for sure.
We are getting you
no doubt about it.
Damn team. All right, so Potato picks up the bow. You know, off the rip, it doesn't look like he obviously has like who does that go on? You know, like if you're 82 health, you know, you're looking for a way kind of back into the game. I've heard that people are playing Akshan. Like, is that the play? Like, why go? Is okay? Just going
Get him out of there.
Yeah. So in TFT, there are kind of 2 different styles of carry that you can play. So there's characters who do attack damage, right? AD carries, and on the other side you have your AP carries or ability power. And so here, Potato has a really nice AD start. We've got the Infinity Edge, the Rune's Hurricane, the Collector, and already that Akshan who scales with ability power or ability damage. And so, you know, this Akshan is going to be shredding backlines, executing people at low health,
those are
generating
kind of
gold.
you need. After watching such an embarrassing performance from Jin, I hope Jin is looking on. He's like in the minor leagues right now. He's in the G League, and he's like, oh my god, like he's just salty because he knows he just got replaced.
He knew what he could have been. I think that's the problem.
Yeah, climbing up, the thing I realized is that you gotta recognize what units have the clutch gene, and just Akshan there already proving himself as a rookie in his first board, coming out with a win like that. That's something to store for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could put those 3 items on like Polar Evelyn, and he's still going to kill 5. You know, it's pretty.
Yeah, sometimes
pretty good start there.
You can't really quantify hustle, and Akshan just has that kind of like love of the game that I really want to see. My main question is like, will we be able to actually see other Akshans on the board carry out this level of intensity? You know, so like right now it's going on for Potato, but Capital was typing a lot in chat about going Akshan, no scout, no pivot. And so I'm really curious to see, like, is Akshan really going to work for everyone? Like, who's to say?
Everyone wants an Akshan, you know, but not everyone can get one. Like, they're few and far between. We're seeing. We'll see for sure.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah, and this is a really interesting opportunity, right? Because you have Yasuo in the shop, and a Callista, and an Aurelia. So you've got 3 challengers there. Also AD carry unit in Yasuo, who can hold these Akshan units. And it's like a starter pack for a different kind of comp, right? You've got a whole pack of units that fit together with that challenger trait and are a pretty good option. But Potato seems pretty committed to this Akshan, and hopefully it will continue to work for him throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, Yasuo is much like the Russell Westbrook of the kind of League of Legends, like the Summoner's Rift lore. Because if you don't accept him at his worst, then you don't deserve him at his best. You know, no one wants the 0-10 Yasuo. But if you nurture him and love him and respect him, there's a very good chance that that 0-10 Yasuo turns into like a 20-10 Yasuo and carries your game. And so the same goes for TFT. That like if you know how to get the items for Yasuo and know how to put the tanks around him to kind of absorb some of that pressure and just let him start Hasagi around the map, like he's gonna do dividends for your team.
Once he starts taking to the hole, there's just no one else in this unit that can kind of
Now,
do what he can do.
okay, so speaking of actions, Capital rolls Potato with an action 2 already at level 6. So, yeah, you might lose that race, Tato, after all.
So speaking of
Hustles
Cap,
can only get you so far.
do we want to pop over and watch Cap and see how the auction comp might be played in someone else's hands?
Yeah, I'm curious to see it for sure. Let's hop over to Capital's point of view and try to see what his early game is looking at.
The only
Oh my
deafened
gosh!
player.
Whoa! This guy is so strong.
All right, so explain your reaction there for the lane.
Okay, so in the late game, there are really 2 types of front lines you can play. Okay. The major one is this Freljord trait you see on the left. Okay, so you've got the Sejuani, who's a Freljord bruiser up front, a 4-cost, pairs with the Ash in the backline, the Freljord Deadeye, who pairs with the Akshan, who's a Deadeye as well. And so here, Cap is already naturally finding units that will make it onto his late game board. And this is extremely early. You typically don't expect to see 4-cost units like this until level 7. And so Cap just kind of lucked into it, hit the Action 2 really easily as well. And so at this point, he's looking to build his economy back up, go level 7, go level 8, and kind of play a naturally strong position for a late game finish.
Yeah, so it seems like he's already off to a pretty strong start because the economy, he didn't have to completely tank his comp's economy in order to get into a pretty strong board early. And now he has the health to kind of just like comfortably ride it out, and he doesn't even have to leverage that. And so the only thing he is really going to lose is like place on the carousel. But for the most part, it seems like Cap is pretty much sitting pretty and can afford to just kind of sit here, stockpile, and then maybe start rolling for levels or rolling for higher star or something like this.
And this is the real test here against Apathy's Kale 3 this early. This is just a battle of titans.
Another thing as well for Capital, he's got that Deadeye heart, which is great for the action parry.
Oh, that was a lot closer than I thought it would be.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm impressed.
Keep in mind level 5.
Yeah, and he's a level down. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and Kale naturally scales, like gets stronger at level 6 in particular.
Yeah.
So, Apathy has really hit this board and is absolutely cruising, like we saw earlier, keeping that full 100 streak going this far into the match.
Let's see who takes the spat, and let's start spectating whoever takes the spat item.
I'm curious if anyone will take it. Oh, Jewish Missile. There you go.
My
man.
Let's pop over to Missile and watch his stream as we see what he's gonna make with the Yasuo spat.
All right. Now, Jewish Missile, I saw, did come into the game with the Earth Legend, which gives spatula items as your augments. Doesn't actually have a free spatula yet, but is making a Demacia spat. Kind of an interesting choice.
That's interesting, given he doesn't have any Demacia units. I'm not entirely sure what that might be for. But that's why we're here. That's because we want to see the strats. We want to see what gritty, grindy TFT really looks like. We're here for the spirit of the game, the competition, and the love. We're not here to see optimal play. Otherwise, we would just watch Train play on his stream. Am I right?
I'm not here to watch these players play the same meta comps over and over again. And I want to go for Yasuo Kaisa. I want to go reroll Kale for the 18th time in a row. No, we're here for the people who are cooking.
Yes.
The Demacia Gunner Spat combo. Except, actually, you know what? That was a much more interesting choice than I expected. Because, lo and behold, Jewish Missile has Pandora's items. So his emblems are re-rolling every round until he
That's
finds
really
something that he
interesting.
likes.
So if you're Jewish Missile, what are you looking for? Are you hoping to turn this into some kind of Kaisa carry and eventually you add challenger onto hers, or like what? Or wait, is she already? Is she already challenger? I forget what like meta thing she turns into.
Kaisa?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaisa's an AP challenger,
Okay.
which is kind of weird because challenger scales with attack speed.
Mhm.
But usually you'll play like Kaisa and Yasuo together because they're both 4 costs. They're both challengers. One's AD, one's AP. And so you'll have a good way to use your offensive items no matter what in that comp. And then late game, you look to turn the Kaisa into like an Ari or a more powerful AP carry. But here we're shifting straight over to the Lux instead of the Aurelia. A pretty reasonable call given the Jeweled Gauntlet and the Triforce already.
Makes sense.
And Jewish Missile is looking to make some moves and probably roll some gold on level 7 to get stronger here.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna be honest. As I'm looking at his comp, it looks like he might be going for Baron, and so I don't know if he has these emblems on the bench and he's gonna sit and hope that one of them turns into a void one so that he can unlock that final void trait. That might,
Okay.
that
Oh
might be
my
pretty good.
gosh.
Oh, and he hits the Belbeth, and there's the Baron. So that is kind of what I was thinking. That Matt.
Oh.
Wait, no, that's not Baron. That one is
It's
Shelly.
Rift Herald right now.
Yeah, this one is Shelly. As oh my god, I just
wow. All right, Missile, I see you.
By
That was Cash.
And Mr. Mountain Mike's several giveaway entries. So, someone get in there and contest him, just cause. I believe in democracy.
I'll throw one giveaway entry in there. We do have a special giveaway tonight. I don't know much about it besides it being special, but I'm sure I will get a DM later. So make sure you get those entries in while you can.
Yeah, we'll be doing an
Also,
interpretive
worthwhile use
dance.
of
winner.
Shelly the interpretive dance.
Yep. We'll be interpreting whatever you want, barring PG-13, probably PG. Yeah, get those giveaway entries in for some potential for a. Oh my god.
Oh, the Belveth 2-on-7. Oh, he sees the vision.
Oh, hey.
He sees the vision.
So I would like to let Twitch chat know that I, Kraken, am indeed clairvoyant. Because we popped on and Jewish Missile is making absolute content out of this.
He's already getting pinged for it. That's awesome.
So like I am so excited. Oh yes, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why we're here. This is really exciting, and I'm so glad that we hopped on at the time that we did, because now he is one void emblem away from Baron. So yeah, so he takes. Looks like he's
rolling another
just
emblem.
making as many spat items as he can in the hopes that Pandora's box turns one of those into Baron Nashor, which should be fine. Like if you look, he's 57 gold. His board is strong. Like he's rolling through another. He's rolling through. I think that's Luna, who's right above him on the leaderboards. So like Missile's in a really strong spot. Like Missile, in the time that we have started spectating him, is now like a pretty serious threat for top 3 at least, I would say.
Yeah, this is an amazing spot. And so Baron Nashor, which is the 8 void buff, is not incredibly strong. You know, it's not like an instant win like he was in the early stages of the set. But that and having a Belveth 2 on level 7 and being able to go with 8 and 9 still and having 2 other emblems on top of that, you know, the cap potential for Jewish Missile's board is astronomical here.
Yeah, it's really, really strong. All right, I say we stick with Missile through the carousel, and then we can swap.
I'd like to drop down to Phoebe Wonder, who is Phoenix NH, down there at the bottom.
All right.
And see what they can do to get themselves out of a sticky situation.
All right, I'm down.
They could be going a quick 8th here, unless something goes their way.
All right, and we leave just in time to watch Missile lose. So we are jumping ship at the appropriate time as we now swap over to Phoebe Wonder. which is just such a good. That's such a good name. that is so based.
It goes pretty hard.
All right, so what is Phoebe thinking? So they take the tier.
Yeah, I'd be crying as well if I was an ace right now.
I was gonna say that might be fitting. That's because we got 4 rogue and 3 Noxus, so there's not much to speak of in terms of traits. You got 18 health and a dream. Train at this point, is everything just about damage mitigation? Or are you trying to spend every little bit of gold you have just to like try and get up to 7?
Yeah, at this point, you're 18 health. You're kind of just fighting for your life a lot of the time here. But before you spend all of your gold trying to get stronger, you need to first look at your situation and think if spending your gold is actually going to make you stronger. Because here, sure, Phoebe could roll 20 gold, but what's the best case scenario for spending that 20 gold, right? Maybe you get Swain 2, and that's it. And that's probably not enough to even make the difference between going 7th or 8th. So realistically, the right play is to hold the gold, even though you're dying, and hope you just get lucky and eventually earn enough to make your way back after the neutral stage coming up soon. But again, it takes a lot of discipline, really, really difficult decision to make in the moment. And you can see it is definitely a stressful place to be.
There's an itch for sure.
Yeah, things are dire. And it's also important to remember that in the format of the TTFTT 3, we're going to be playing multiple rounds, and so getting a suboptimal placement in the first board, it's not something you want, but it's still completely comebackable. This is an 8th here is not the end of your time in the tournament. So I am rooting for Phoebe, but it does look like this might be the end of the run. Well, Katarina's making some nice plays. That is one fed Katarina, so let's see if she can get some of the resets.
Yeah, she is pretty built.
Close, but the Darius.
The Darius is dunking on your entire board. That's again. Almost
tragic.
That is
but living up to his name, that is something I would not like to see as Stevie Wonder. Yeah. First out.
Oof.
First out.
All right, so where are we heading next? Should we head over to Luna, just as next in the stressful position?
Let's do it.
All right, let's take a look at Luna's stream here. Down here, sitting in 7th place with 17 HP. And yeah, Kraken, you make a good point, right? A low placement here feels pretty bad, but we do have 3 qualifying rounds we're playing tonight, and then top 8 after those 3 rounds all qualify into a winner-takes-all final game. So you only need to be top 50% after 3 games. An 8th or a 7th or a 6th here by no means makes that impossible, right? It's still very realistic to kind of claw your way back here and make our final lobby. And from then on, it's only 1 game. And so we've seen it happen before. Hopefully we can see it happen again. But Polar, what are your observations about Luna's board here?
I mean, immediately Darius, he's caused some moments of myself not being proud of my choices I made in real life after losing to him. Yeah, I mean, once he gets going, he just hit a big wall against that Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath just took that for breakfast. But yeah, this ain't looking good for sure, especially against like heavy tanks where Darius can't really get rolling early. It's tough, especially if you looking at Darius 3, and it's going to be tough to get there. 50 gold though, the big thing. This is going to be a insane roll down.
Yeah, now that Phoebe's eliminated, all of Phoebe's Noxus units are back in the pool. So Luna's chances of hitting the Katarina and the Darius here are exponentially higher than if they rolled earlier.
You're so close.
Callistas.
Keep going, Luna. I believe in you. Come on,
the
come
APM.
on.
The APM, go, Luna, go.
Come on. Oh, you can do it.
No.
Oh, all right. We just need to live.
Oh, it's winnable. Another Darius
it's
player.
it's
Why are you all
winnable.
playing Darius?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Okay,
God,
this is going to be
Hullbreaker.
a generational team fight. This is going to be like me and my
Yeah.
bronze games.
Oh,
Should I-
look at the look
Oh
at
my
the
god, the Katarina on the other team is just
Yeah.
so clutch, kiting out the Samira like that. Oh, but can the friendly Katarina make something play at the end? Oh no! And
Oh, man.
Power Luna just barely goes down. Oh,
It's always the enemy
heartbreaking.
Katarinas that are making plays in your ADCs, your backlines. It's never yours, of course, but
All right.
yeah.
I'm gonna hop over to Axel's POV. Let's just keep moving.
All right,
Keep
let's
moving
do
up the ladder here. Axel, I hope, is the only Noxus player left.
it.
Pretty wild to
Tough
three-way
take
contest
for
a
Noxus
3-cost
people.
reroll, my friends.
That's
not gonna work.
Crazy.
But this Darius is stacked. That is a lot of damage and an Edge of Knights for some extra survivability. An AP Samira down there in the back line. You know, we are cooking. And Mr. Yeti is running that Freljord front line like we talked about a little bit earlier. Darius might have a little trouble shredding through that quickly enough to win.
Beefy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Scion too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
All right, we are just
Yeah.
we're the Grim Reaper right now. Everyone.
All right, someone else pick. I don't want to pick. I'm sorry. I'm executing people.
Let's go back to Capital.
Jewish
and-
Missile lost?
Did it die?
Oh my god, this guy's.
Oh my
How did
god.
that happen?
I can't believe it. All right, let's go to Cap Stream. Let's see how the auction's doing.
Over to
So
Cap.
we're down
Yeah,
to
let's
top
go,
4.
let's go check out the action.
Oh, let's check out the action on the auction. That's what I'm
That's
talking about.
That's
This
some
is
of
why
the
you
jokes
come to Trank
you come
first.
to see.
This is where the content is.
The action.
All
I
right.
don't think it's got that, but action is like action.
Oh, I get it now that you've explained it. I didn't get it before, but now I see the true comedy that you have to give us.
All right, Kraken. Here's your first test of the night.
Uh,
Should you roll for Action 3 here?
No.
Why not?
Because if you don't hit it, then you are doomed.
Yes, sir.
D-O-O-M-E-D. 18 gold. You are not going to hit 2 auctions in that, and I know because the compulsive gambler in me would absolutely waste the rest of my coins on this.
And
Yes, Cap has the health to spare.
That's too early.
That-
And every
that's-
day of the week I'm rolling down because, listen, at TTFT,
You're just a big roller, Polar.
if you're not in it to win, you're in it to lose. You know,
Yeah.
like you can talk about coming 4th place, and I'm sure people said, "Oh, you know, placement matters." Like a wise man once said, "The game first, you're last."
That is so true.
Oh,
Here it is.
and Cap
Here it
rolls
is.
it down.
Oh, just
Yeah. You don't always have that clutch gene. That's the
The
thing.
diamonds are just on the other side of the wall, Cap. Just keep rolling.
yeah. Just keep rolling.
Oh,
Just
what?
keep doing it.
All right, I'm
Okay.
wrong. I
Well,
quit.
you-
I'm done. I'm done. I quit. I
All
quit.
right.
Never punished.
I guess actually no. That was the smart move because Potato just lost, who was also playing Akshan. So that actually like all of Potato's Akshans just made it back. I still don't think that was optimal. I'm curious to see
I mean,
how
that's
much
why
a
I'm ranked
3-star
28
Akshan.
challenger.
I'm curious to see how much a 3-star Akshan will actually do versus like 2 teams that just have super capped boards and very tanky front lines. So like, I'm not sure that was the answer anyway. I'm not saying it isn't, but
I mean,
the
this
power
guy is.
just
This dude is
smacking away.
cooking.
Still,
it's proven effective right now. So
sneaky Aphelios on that left side as well.
Yeah,
36
the Aphelios
double
was
win
kinda-
twos. That's scary for sure.
yeah,
And this is a pretty fundamental principle of TFT, is when you're building your comp, you need more than one unit that does damage.
true.
Right? You can't just solo carry your Action 3, because what happens when your Action 3 gets killed right away, or Zephyred, or Shrouded, or all these other things? You know, you just lose, right? But here, Capital's Aphelios can bail him out of those unfortunate situations, and he's got a huge insurance policy. So some really smart compositional building by Cap here.
These items are really good. There's full tank items as well in the Sejuani. Tart to heal. I mean, this is looking really good. That Zephyr is the mechanical aspect of the game. Something I can't quite grasp But if you can, Lysandra 3 as well.
All right, he's got the 3-star.
Oh, Apathy's going 9 as well.
This is going to be a positioning battle
Cool.
to the end, and so I'm
Oh,
really
boy.
curious to see who ends up coming away with it.
Yeah,
It's
Apathy
Virginia.
hits the Zephyr on the action. He's got the beefy Poppy 4 in the front line.
So that Heimer
Wow.
turret is just doing some dirt. But Action's
Oh my
got the
God.
time. He's alive for a little bit, but not enough. He's just getting juggled around. And so Mr. Yeti goes down. And interestingly enough, kind of what we thought might happen.
Surrender.
Oh, he surrendered.
Oh my
that a
god.
Wow.
Boo! The absolute lack of integrity on the
I didn't even
TPFT
know
team.
you could surrender in this game.
So it's just
Never
not
even
my
crossed your mind.
vocabulary.
Well,
Exactly. I was like, I didn't know you could do that.
all right.
All right.
Wow. Well, a very close, very competitive first lobby there. We saw quite a few high roll moments. Some really awesome creative gameplay by Jewish Missile in particular. Some pretty typical meta stuff from everybody else, and Apathy with a really high roll KL3 game. Just took it cleanly to a nice first place.
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, we tuned into Apathy at the beginning of the stream and watched as serendipitously he had two-star ashes at stage 2-1. So deuces were wild as he just absolutely took over the rest of the board. And then Cap in the end ended up FFing just to get the game on with, I suppose. But well played to everyone. I'm curious to see. I want people in lobby 2 to input what their scores were. My guess is that they're still going on, but I'm curious to see what happened over in that pool because we're moving on to mixed lobbies next, and so I'm interested to see the best of the rest.
Yeah, that lobby B game is still going on. I believe they are kind of in the closing stages of that game, and so. Let's see. Are we able to switch over and join Lobby B?
I'm awaiting confirmation.
I'm awaiting confirmation. Yeah, Lobby B. Yes, Mr. Mountain Mike, he heard me. Our
All right,
wonderful,
let's
excellent producer. So let's join Lobby B. Just kind of see where we're at here. And I'm going to start on... Let's start on TyXer's stream here.
go. All right, you got it.
Oh, and I picked first place so far. All right.
Oh, he's brilliant.
All
Harry
right, so we'll
Venus.
start with Ty here.
1 health.
All right, so we've got Charybdis here on 1 health and on a win streak, climbing back up the rankings in the top 3 here. We've got Ty with a Belveth and Deadeye board, which is super exciting. Really interesting mix of AD carry units. And then it looks like Soul Lady on the other side has that Ari comp we were talking about earlier. So wow, very exciting matchup. And Soul Lady goes out in third to Charybdis's board here.
I'm gonna ping production to switch scenes because I think we're still on the screen for the Twitch. But yeah, we're down to the final 2 in lobby B. So we arrived at just the right moment.
Who are you rooting for here, Polar?
This is tough. Cherry Vetus coming in like probably the favorite to win this event, but you got to go for the 1 health guy. Like if he's able to pull through, this is the hype moment. This is why you play TFT.
Yeah, I'm conflicted because I will always root against Heimerdinger, but also like I don't want to come in and be a hater to someone who's earned top spot on the board. So I don't know. It's pretty close. Charybdis looking nice though. They're holding out for one more.
All right, yeah, very close lobby. I'm surprised that this 1 HP win streak is going on this long. And typically you see this sort of thing happen with certain augments that give you bonuses if you're 1 HP and save you from dying once. But I don't think Charybdis even has those. I think he just got lucky to survive around like 5 rounds ago. And now we're just kind of hoping for the best. Doesn't look like there are many ways for these boards to get stronger. I believe Ty is going to try to go level 9 here, or just roll it down and see what he can hit. Griffiths picks up that Cassante too, could be enough to make a difference, especially since he won the previous fight.
Missed the Scion.
Another Scion.
one.
He's going for the 3-star
Yeah,
forecast.
he just doesn't give a dang about the Scion. And it hurts that there's so many that are just flying past.
Ryan.
All right,
Yeah,
let's see if this kind of financial hesitancy ends up with a loss. That's going to be emotional if Charybdis is able to pull this off. Right now, we see the affiliates in the bottom right just going absolutely crazy, spewing into the rest of the team. It is looking really close, and the Belveth is online and making plays, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Oh my
gosh.
That was so crazy. The Belveth was enough and ends up clutching the team fight. Oh, that was so exciting.
All right, wow. Wow, what an exciting end to that game. That was extremely close.
That was close.
So, wow, yeah, Ty ends up taking out probably our number one seed, Charybdis, a former TTFTT champion among many other participants in the field here. But those
I'm
are
pretty
all.
sure Apathy won the first ever TTFTT, if I'm not mistaken. Back when there was its own separate Discord and it wasn't Tranquility affiliated.
Back before we got bought out by a big corporation.
Yeah, back before we sold out, we switched. we went corporate. So my bad.
And you know what? And now we're here living it up with the good people of Tranquility Gaming.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got some like winning pedigree, and some of the more favored players are finishing 1 and 2. So I'm really curious. Apathy and Charybdis will both be in lobby A for round 2, and so I don't know which lobby we should spectate because we've got new people in each one that I want to make sure that we give some stream time to, but the 1 and 2 in the same lobby is kind of hard to say no to.
Let's do lobby 2 because I'm seeing a few names we didn't see a lot of last time. Mm-hmm. We didn't watch a lot of Ty or Soul Lady or Biscuit, Axel, Dark, and only a little bit of Phoebe after that heartbreaking 8th place finish here. So I believe we are going to set up the next lobbies here. Should just take a second. But wow, yeah, very, very exciting first round there. Let me send. I think we should probably just take a brief break while we get everything set up. What do you guys think?
I think that's probably a good idea.
All right. So we'll take a brief time out as we let everybody know about the new lobbies, get everybody added and the lobbies ready to go, and then we will be right back. All right, welcome back, everybody. After a very exciting round 1, we have our round 2 lobbies set up. Apathy and Ty are tied at first with 10 points each, of course. It's just been one game. You get 10 points for first. So we're going to be joining Lobby B here. And we're going to be starting with a new face to the TTFTT, and that is Soul Lady, who goes by Soul. Invited to the tournament by Charybdis, I believe. And they had a pretty nice showing last round, finishing in 3rd place in Lobby B.
Yeah, I love new faces in these kind of events. I mean, I love the old faces too. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes it's nice to see it's not just like Apathy, Capital, Potato, Missile, and like every Riot affiliated,
Yeah, we've had enough of
regular we do. It's nice to have some new people, and so I'll always root for some faces that I haven't seen before that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, it's always nice, right? We come in, we have some assumptions about names we recognize, people we know are good players. But, there are always people who come out of the woodwork and will surprise us. And the cool thing about TFT is that the best player doesn't always win either. So we end up with a lot of really surprising results, especially in these kind of short form tournaments like the TTFTT is.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to get right with RNGesus. And so I'm interested to see what happens here. So Capital last round, we saw him finish 2nd in Lobby A. And he proudly proclaimed in the chat, Akshan, no scouting, no pivot. And then he did that, and then he went 2nd, and was even in 1st for a significant portion of that. So like, it's very he's clearly a capable player. And so I'm curious to see like what comps end up getting played here, because the other thing we saw from Lobby A was nothing but Noxus players getting out early because all of them handheld to a 3 top 3 roll, and then lost. And so like the bottom 3 players were all pretty low, which is not exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, and that's not even necessarily like an execution problem. Like, yeah, it's a comp choice problem, but you might have played it the best way as was possible, right? But you've got 2 other people fighting for your units, and that's going to put a lot of barriers in your way towards actually getting your composition online here.
Train and Polar, and both of your high elo experience, I'm curious what you think. Like, at what point in the ranks ladder does the ability to re-roll or to pivot like actually become a thing that people can do?
What do you think, Polar? I'm curious.
Yeah, in your ranked experience.
I mean,
when can people
I
start
would
pivoting?
say generally around Emerald. People want to do that. Like, you see a bit of it. You see a bit of it here and there in Plat. All the people that think they can know what they're doing, do it in Plat. But yeah, generally like Emerald or Amethyst, people generally start to turn just more free thinkers in that rank compared to just pick the meta comp, copy that, copy paste type deal.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're much like my Winston in that sense. That like I kind of refuse, like, common sense. Coaches will tell you, we'll be in VOD reviews and looking at scrim codes and saying like, you have to play within your support line's LOS. And I just don't believe in that. I'm kind of a free thinker. I think and act for myself. I won't do whatever my support or coach tells me to. Sometimes you got to hit them with like a peak check and say like, you can't control my primal.
Like, the biggest issue with common sense is that it doesn't make dollars, and that's what we're after at the end of the day. And sometimes you gotta go off the beaten path to get to the final destination, which is first place.
Yeah, it is a race to first. It's much like the rabbit or the hare and the tortoise in that sense,
right.
And that you aren't going to get to first by doing the Joe Schmo thing that everyone else is doing. Sometimes you have to be bold and get creative with it. So that's one of the things I like about TFT is that at a certain point, like understanding what units are strong will get you to a certain place, but the thing that's really going to make you great is whether you can create for yourself or not.
already. My
So
2 favorite one cost.
one thing I want to point out here is Soul Lady took a really interesting augment. Have either of you ever seen Rift Walker actually played before?
No.
Okay, so this is the augment that turns Kassadin from like a low cost tank and basically reworks his ability entirely so that he's an AP carry instead.
So he's playing like Summoner's Rift Kassadin.
Yeah, so she's actually like pivoting to a more traditional Kassadin damage carry that we've seen in previous sets or may have seen in Rift before. But this is a really novel strategy. A lot of people don't trust this. They're not willing to experiment with Kassadin in that way. But the good news is that means this is pretty uncontested a lot of times too.
Ooh.
So it's pretty likely we will see this Kassadin get online, and we may actually be surprised at the level of effectiveness over the long term.
Yeah, it does pay to be a winner. So I'm pretty excited to see what Kassadin can do, despite Kassadin's rather problematic stereotype. Like the stereotype of Kassadin mains is maybe not as family friendly. So I'm a little bit spooked, but I am curious to see how this plays out.
I mean, yeah, there's just the mental effect it has. Just getting your board one shot by a Kassadin is just, it might bring some of that, Kassadin energy out of you, and we don't want to see it, but we might have to see it.
Sometimes this might not be a PG rated strength stream tonight. The Kassadin might end up bringing out the worst in us. But sometimes that's what you're here for. Like we've been saying the whole night, like we're not here to see your average everyday TFT gameplay as Jin. Oh, he does end up hitting the shot. Yeah, he actually hit the kind of pretty crazy last minute shot, and then it doesn't even matter in the end.
He does have that X factor in him. We've said this before.
Yeah. He does indeed have what it takes. Jin is kind of like a coked out Adderall gamer. But like that dude grinds at his computer for multiple games a day. He just
sometimes
does nothing
he's
but sit.
go too far and miss, but sometimes he's just gonna go for these crazy flick shots that don't end up getting the win there. But you definitely see some potential in it for sure.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
He hit like a really crazy pulse stick, and his team still very much lost the fight. But like he got the highlight kind of montage play, and sometimes like that's all you really need. And so he's kind of an all hands no brain type of player, which there's a space for that in the world. As we get the gauntlet onto Kassadin.
When we're comparing like a Jin to like a Renekton, Renekton's like a TFT staple, a locker room player. Are they going to take over a board? Probably not, but they'll get the job done. They're a role player, and they'll make space for the Jins, the Kassadin carries all of a sudden. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, so Soul did end up benching the Jin for the Malzahar to get the Void 3, to get the little Void chicken online. Which I understand. We've seen Jin be kind of an inconsistent team player, and sometimes we see it a lot all the time that it might be a good player, but you're just not a fit for our team. And so Jin did his best, but just isn't hacking it. And at this level, you need results. This isn't a children's game. We're not here to make people feel good about themselves. We're here to win.
It's not a children's game. We're very serious here at the TTFPT.
I think at least early game, like the Void Sperm is it's incredible. I think it's like having an extra unit is just super impactful, especially like a tanky unit like it is. Obviously, it's pretty trash late game, but you're going for the Rift Heralds, the Barons. I think it's a good switch. You needed a new face. Jin was probably tearing people apart in there, being a bit too selfish with some of the plays, but yeah, I like it.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta move on. And right now, the name of the game for Soul is really just like get Kassadin as much time to scale as you can. That like you want him to start ulting into the back line and like making these big plays. And as long as you have some tanks who can just kind of like sit there and be a distraction while he does it, then he's gonna provide the damage to carry.
And with this Riftwalker augment as well, Kassadin's damage does scale each time he ults.
That's
And so
crazy.
eventually you're going to see this Kassadin just one-shot absolutely everything as long as he can live that long.
Yeah.
So you're seeing items like the Hand of Justice here to give... I'm sorry, the Jewel Gauntlet here to give a lot of that burst damage, but you'll also want to see a little bit of lifesteal, maybe a little extra tankiness as well. Hopefully some ability to out-tank a lot of the damage that he would be taking here.
Yeah, then he'll need some sustain. Interesting. All right, so I say that we put a pin in this Kassadin and come back and watch later. In the meantime, I say that we pivot and start spectating someone that maybe hasn't gotten as much screen time. I would love to go hop onto Dark Daddy's stream.
I love
and see what they're cooking while they're at the bottom of the lobby here. And I wanna see a comeback. That's what I want to see. Oh, it's always Noxus.
It's always Noxus.
It's always Noxus. Oh, it's painful to watch.
Yeah, Noxus is a really tough comp. I think a lot of people don't quite realize like exactly how difficult this comp can be, because Noxus scales off how many times you win with the comp in. So if you're playing this Noxus comp, you need to be winning early to be building those stacks, and then your team will actually do things late game. Right? Playing it from a loss streak like this is especially difficult because you don't always get that end result damage until way too late in the rounds. So an interesting kind of position to be in. I'm wondering if Dark Daddy here will try to pivot out or stay committed to this the whole time.
Sometimes I do appreciate a captain who goes down with his ship.
Exactly.
But also, sometimes the ship doesn't need to go down. Like it's sinking, and there's a leak, and we can, it's like, Captain, we can patch this. I have the materials right now. No, leave me.
No.
The captain goes down. It's like, no, we're right next to the shore. We can pivot. We can level up. Like we can get some extra units in here. Like we can get some 2-star units and synergize. No,
We don't. It doesn't need to happen like this.
It doesn't need to be this way.
We don't have to do this. There are other ways.
That Sejuani might be pretty useful in a pinch right now. Just like a 4-star tank unit to kind of like give some of these other units some time to like find an identity is never a bad choice. Like it won't be doing less than the Poppy's doing right now.
Yeah, that much is definitely for sure.
This
but
Kale
yeah,
is
wow.
kind of is getting online though. This Swain's doing its job, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. I think that Swain is still the enemy Swain is doing enough to just kind of tank the Kale damage. Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in. So what would you guys do here? Would you consider just fully swapping your comp, or would you stay committed to this Darius for the long term?
I don't really find myself an 8 too often, so it's tough knowing what I would do here. I would probably pivot. I have nothing. I have 1 2-star Samira. Everyone else is just a Kale as well. But yeah, I am the red light, whatever it's called, is definitely going off right now, and yeah, I'm definitely pivoting.
Pivoting, and what are you pivoting to?
What am I pivoting to? Personal favorite of mine is Nasus. Love throwing a BT and a Titan Dissolve on him. Underrated unit. Got that dog in him, literally and figuratively. That's what I'm probably thinking about right now, especially with the Bloodthirst you already have. Into maybe like an Azir comp. But I really have no options. Pretty low options right now.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a tough spot, right? You're kind of just locked in. 8 loss streak. You're a little too low HP. It's just a difficult place to climb your way out of. But Dark Daddy here may have some options. So you got the bow going for sure. That's always helpful. But
Yeah,
let's
I
see.
do
Who
think
have we?
at this point you gotta just get some frontline units in there. Right now, everything is just kind of standing there, and at this point, I think taking some units that maybe don't have the best synergy, like the Sejuani, if you can go around and find the Nasus, if you can find like some other units, maybe a Scion that can kind of like sit there and really like give your Kale some time to operate, maybe like give your Darius some time to scale. That right now this Darius doesn't really have any options because if you play him as a frontline unit, he's never gonna have the time to get truly online. But with this right now, like I would love if you took the I would love if you took the Shen and like maybe put him with a Poppy, like maybe get a Rek'Sai, Sejuani there. But right now, I think this front line, even with 6 Noxus, is just going to be really, really difficult.
That was a pretty big hit, though. You would love a Darius here, but at least I would say his board's stronger than it was last.
It is. It's stronger than it was last, but with 37 HP and like not perfect items, I think it's going to be tough for sure.
Yeah, I mean this is a good win. It looks like pretty close, but keep in mind Soul also is still on that Cassidon 1, so it has a 1-star 2-cost carry instead of a 2 or a 3-star. So she will certainly be elevating her team comp to the next level pretty quickly. I'm curious if we could hop over to Axel's point of view. We haven't visited Axel yet at all.
Oh, what do you know? It's more Noxus.
And they've got wow, who knew? They've got a very nice. They've got a very nice win streak going here. It's what you like to see with the Noxus comp. But due to being contested, is just rolling deep, sacrificing all their gold, and really not hitting quite yet.
I'm really curious to know what that Zon like trait augment on the Warwick is, because I saw Capital in chat say some things early about an immortal Warwick, and right now I'm surprised because I look at this board and it's certainly not bad, but I'm looking at it and I'm like, I don't see a 96 HP like top of the line board. That like there aren't any great, like it's not a super efficient set of traits. The 1 over Noxus, 1 over Juggernaut. That like there's a lot of room to be creative and play. There's a ton of gold kind of seeped into all these units that are left on the bench. And I'm a little surprised that this is first in the lobby right now.
I think that's kind of 8 win streak.
It's hard to argue with an 8 win streak. So that shows what I know.
And this is again the advantage of playing that Noxus comp, right? Every single win, this comp is getting stronger up to 7 unique opponents. That is. And so you've seen this comp really get as strong as it's going to get until these units actually start to get upgraded and shifted over to the higher tier variants, right? We don't have a Katarina yet. We have an Echo 2 on bench. Looks like we're rolling for that Warwick 3. And it's just a bit of an awkward spot to figure out where does this comp really go from here.
Yeah,
You've had your success before, but how are you going to continue that heading into the future?
I agree. If I'm Axel, I think the biggest concern is at 10 gold. That at a certain point it's like, what, I have the HP to spare. I'm on a win streak, but then even if I go on a lose streak right now to some boards that kind of like are just now coming online in the big game, I think I just have to sit on this gold, even if it means lose streaking some HP, and get this gold up so that I can level up or pivot or like have some more kind of sideways mobility, which right now actually I'm not sure they have.
Yeah, but let's see what this augment has in store for us here, if that can really change the tides. We do have the Tom Kench as our legend. So plenty of econ options, but we opt for the bow instead. Probably going to become a Warwick item if I had to guess.
Roll down.
Find another
I don't know
Warwick.
what they're looking for. They're hitting this Warwick.
Okay.
That is a bold decision.
What would you have done there, Polar?
I would not slam Runons on a Swain. I'd probably just, like Kraken said, I wouldn't be spending right now. I'm on a lose streak. I'd rather lose now so I can get extra gold. But now I'm kind of relying on this Warwick here, which probably will hit, but it's getting scary. I'm not loving this position.
Yeah. It's real scary hours, like Drake said.
Yeah, and so the long-term prospects look a little bit scary here, but you've also got 70 HP to work with, right? So I think, Polar, your read to just sit, save your gold, lose some HP, and just chill for a bit is probably going to be the right call, right? You have to leverage your HP as a resource and hope to use that to your advantage to get stronger somehow. So now we see this Warwick 3 coming along.
Does finally hit the Warwick 3, so the D-Gen rerolling can finally come to an end. What do you say we hop into Biscuit's POV? We haven't spectated them yet, and I'd like to make sure that they get some gameplay on the stream.
I love that. I'm so curious about Biscuit's perspective because she, during our time together on the Payload Pals, she was hyping up her TFT prowess.
Oh,
and
that's
so
what
now
I
it's time to put your money where your mouth is, Biscuit.
All right, let's get
it.
So we have the 6 Invoker. 6 Invoker is pretty interesting to me because you almost never see people at this relative elo like play actual like AP like almost support comps. That I feel like everything becomes an AD reroll. Like I play the Kai'Sa reroll, I play Darius reroll, I play Garen, I reroll. That like I play Tristana reroll. That it's always some kind of like AD reroll. And this is just going ham. I mean, we saw that win. That was a pretty big win on the board right there.
Yeah, and this is a really smart read from Biscuit because we saw that there are a whole lot of 3-cost rerollers in the lobby, right? We have a few Noxus players. They're taking out all of the Dariuses, all of the Katarinas from the pool who are both 3 costs. And so now that leaves the 3-cost pool wide open for all of those 3-cost invokers like Karma and like Lissandra. So Biscuit can come in and swoop those up uncontested while the other players actually make that easier for her to do. So really smart read here. Really nice economy management as well. We're all the way mid-level 8. And this might actually not even stay Karma. This might turn into an Ahri on level 9 here.
Oh, God, that would be so strong.
Notice how we're looking at for was it Axel with the Noxus comp? Level 6, 0 gold, level 8.5 at 50 still.
Yeah, this is a really strong board that still has so much room to go up.
And is still winning fights.
Yeah.
And you've got basically 100 gold that Biscuit has not spent on getting stronger yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, and you're still winning rounds. Like that is an amazing position to be in. And she's just going to sit here and greed, go 9, and hit every 5 cost in the game. Is the game plan?
Oh, this is such a good death. Look at this.
And
she she wins the board anyway. It's not even.
Wow.
Holy cow. That is so clutch.
Soraka, man.
So this is a fantastic example of understanding your board strength and when you need to spend money to get stronger and when you don't. Right? If you don't need to spend money to get stronger, then don't spend the money. Right? Save it up and use it later when you need to get stronger. And boom, there you go. You've got a free level 9, free 5-cost comp, and you just win the game for free.
That's emotional.
And Biscuit with the little cheeky emote. I know they're feeling it.
Yeah, as they should be. I mean, this is this is also one of the nice things that we tend to see happen in higher end boards, is that like it kind of becomes this competition to see who can get the higher star units. Like once you get into the higher cost, like there's more competition for like the 4-star units, the 5-star units. or the 4 cost units and the 5 cost units. And this board isn't gonna experience that too much. Like how many times do we see like Rise be heavily contested? Almost never. Speak of the devil. You better buy that unit. I know that you want to stay over 50 gold, but like, come on.
Yeah, so Rise is an
controlling
interesting unit this set. His ability changes depending on the portal the players vote on at the beginning of the game. And so this particular Rise summons like a Life Weaver tree in the middle of the battlefield that just heals your team over time right there. And so it's not the most useful Rise in the game.
But
it's still playable.
With the Targon.
But yeah, the healing would get boosted by Targon. So I definitely see your point. I would collect that Rise as well. You never know. But I think you can make an argument for passing it up.
If you're gonna run Rise, it's worth like having a 2-star Rise.
Oh yeah. If you're planning to stick with it, for sure.
Yeah, they didn't have to sacrifice any econ thresholds. So as you're kind of like looking at this board, like, what does it need to really secure like a top 2 finish? So Biscuit, she's about 30 HP behind Capital, and who's that?
I think that's Ty in second.
So like a comfortable top 4 maybe, but what does it need? Like, what units are we looking for? Maybe what items are we looking for in order to reach like a comfortable top 2 finish?
Yeah. So now is the time where you need to realize that units start to become more important than traits at this point. Right? Early game, units are probably more important, right? You'd rather play upgraded units than not upgraded units, even if they synergize. Late game has a similar concept. You'd rather play upgraded 5 costs that don't synergize than random 2 stars that synergize a little bit. So here is the time to start transitioning into those stronger 5 costs and get these random 1 costs off your board. Right? You don't need a Cassiopeia on your board right now. You don't need a Galio. You don't need even a Swain or an Oriana back there. Right? Just take your bad units and plug in random strong stuff to fill in the gaps.
Yeah, I think like a Azir would actually be, in this one scenario, very good with Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia, I don't think it's giving any, like 7 Invoker, so I don't think they're giving any traits. Plus you get the Strategist, which would be good. Is it the best unit in the game? I think you should probably pick it up right now for the Cassiopeia.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a good argument, right? Again, right, it's not amazing. Azir's not going to carry your team.
Right.
But it's definitely going to do more than this Cassiopeia 2, who's not even adding a trait to your board. But all right, so we have seen some players start to fall out here. Dark Daddy does go down in 8th place. Axel close behind. Yeah, some difficult rolls, some hard economy realities there, and contested Noxus comps yet again, sending players to a deep 8th place.
Is Cassio a sorcerer?
She is Shurima, Invoker, and Noxus.
So even like a Vel'Koz would be great here. Get 4 sorcerer in.
Yeah, there's Vel'Koz right there on the board.
Yeah, Vel'Koz, a Lux could do a lot of great work here for some single target damage. An Ahri would be nice.
An Ahri would be probably
that's a really tough loss, though.
But at this point, you're starting to see, right? Like, even though we were in such a good spot, we haven't used our advantage to get any stronger. And so we're starting to get punished by these other people who are spending their gold, and we're losing matchups that would have been winnable like 3 or 4 rounds ago.
I kind of want to pop over and see what Soul Lady's doing with the Cassidon.
Yeah, I love that idea. We're back where we started with Soul here. Curious to see if she managed to get that Cassidon 3 online.
The Zephyr.
Big play.
That is a confident pick. Zephyr offering basically nothing but playmaking potential. If you don't land these, it's completely useless.
Not even Cassidon 3, not even itemized. We're playing Kaisa carry. Wow. I love it.
That's bold.
You recognize you're not hitting the Cassidons. Don't need to trash your economy. right? You can just level and play Kaisa instead. And no need to force yourself and pigeonhole down one specific route. And backline Zephyr is good. At this point, I would probably also make that Chalice, just because you're finished receiving components, so you might as well use the ones you have. But yeah, a surprisingly strong board here. I'm glad that Rift Herald got buffed. Do you guys have a favorite carry this set that you always look to play or think is entertaining to watch?
Not particularly. The ones that are fun to me always end up being kind of cringe, and so it makes me not want to do it anymore. And whenever I get into these like cycles where I play lots of TFT, maybe just kind of like I have it on a separate monitor as I'm like listening to podcasts or watching my favorite YouTube videos or whatever. I always find myself like wanting to play something that's strong but not too strong. And so like for a while, I really liked the Zir comps, and I thought those were strong. But then everyone else thought those were OP and cringe, and so I was like, all right, well maybe I'll play like Kaisen, and those were OP and cringe, and so like I never know what to play because I'm always so preoccupied with like, well, I don't want to play something cringe, I want to play something with integrity.
I'll do anything not to be cringe.
Yeah, it's like the most like the primary like human emotion. It's just like
priority number one:
avoid being cringe.
How about you, Polar? What carries stick out to you this set?
I'm the complete opposite. I embrace the cringe. I am the cringe. Listen, you can call me bad, but I'll get that LP. Right? I will be able to hear you from down there.
You call me broke, but check my bank account, buddy.
Exactly.
Stocks are rising.
Exactly.
All right. So
I love the Azir.
Drops.
I to be, again, anti-cringe, I guess, as the normies would say it. I love itemizing a full ED aggressive Nasus. Just once he goes big and he just starts one-shot people, he just has this like late game, just late fight, just clutch gene, and the amount of games I've won where my Azir gets flanked by a Katarina, my front line dies, and my Nasus just comes in at the end and just, eat 3 people. That's the hype moment.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to watch the dog go bonk.
Exactly.
It's
I want to send interrupt you for a second and just send this over to Capital's perspective. So we're spectating a player. But anyway, sorry, just continue your point here.
There is no point. POV. Sometimes the dog just go bonk, and it makes my little heart happy to see.
Biscuit pivoted. We've got an RE2 now.
Let's go.
Listen, I know I just said I'm fine being cringe, but Tristana reroll.
Maybe a bit.
Don't let Apathy hear you say that.
Tristana reroll is.
We didn't know.
Pains me to see.
We didn't know.
Pains me to see.
You're a hater, Polar.
Levels of cringe like this that even existed.
Yeah, this is again my threshold was reached. But hey.
Oh, that was a quick win.
Like I said, if you ain't first, you're last. And if it gets the job done, I can't hate on someone's grind.
Hey, I absolutely, I think you are totally on the spot there. I think that, when it comes to such storied communities and tournaments as the TTFTT, you have to bring your best. And if people are hating because they say it's cringe, you just gotta tell them to get out of your face. Just buzz off, buddy. I'm doing my best, and I'm here to compete and to
At
win.
the end of the day, they're playing for the chip. They're not playing to make us happy or whoever. They're playing for this victory and any means possible.
You gotta make your money any way you know how, man.
Yeah, it pays to be a winner. It pays to be a winner. Sometimes you gotta make it. You gotta make it happen. All right.
It sure does.
Even if that means playing things that the plebeians call cringe. They're just afraid. All right, they're just afraid.
All right, so we actually have both lobbies finishing up here at the same time. So once more, I believe we are ready to kick it to a brief break while we calculate next lobbies and get them all set up. and we should be back very shortly. It's coming
All
along
right.
pretty nicely. All right, everybody, welcome back to our third and final qualifying round for the finals of the TTFTT3. Too many T's. I've been saying it all day for like 6 weeks now. TTFTT3. It's too much. But we're going to be kicking off here with Lobby B. Let me give them the go-ahead here. Let me make sure I know who's also hosting. Should be Apathy, I believe. We're going to start with a perspective that we have not seen yet, with also another newcomer to the TTFTT, and that is Rylan. And Polar, I know you have some insider knowledge about this player, so what can you tell me?
So Ryland's actually a proud member of the American Loop Society. So for all you Lupetians out there, you definitely got, a hometown kid coming out here, repping ya. So make sure to cheer him on.
It's emotional. We love to watch people overcome obstacles,
right?
To compete in such esteemed levels of competition as the TTFTT.
Yeah.
As a reminder, so Train did say it, but this is going to be the third and last qualifying round. So this is when playing safe and hoping to get a top 4 probably isn't going to cut it anymore. Now is the time where these players need to start playing more aggressive and playing for top bill. These are people who want to get into the final bracket, because after this game, only the top 8 players are remaining for the finals. And so I'm interested to see how that affects some of these people's decisions, because things like Akshan reroll or Kale reroll or whatever might not be as simple, because it's going to be a lot harder. These things that are popular are going to be more contested, and so players are going to have to get more creative and find new and unique specific ways to get in. As we watch Apathy kind of one guy the rest of the August lobby.
He is that one guy.
Not quite. He couldn't quite pull it off, but whatever.
And Rylan wins the vote.
Classic Rylan. This is a comeback story.
2 out of 3 games, we chose to spectate the player that won the vote.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not scripted, but it's not scripted. So
I mean, it is not scripted.
We don't rate votes here.
I see what you mean. I'm a big democracy believer. And that might be controversial, but
maybe some Demacia believers rolling the Galileo here. You have not seen that yet, and can you please not see another Noxus 5th through 8th here? Yeah,
literally all I want is to not watch a bunch of hardworking blue-collar Noxians end up having to go 4th, all right? I hate watching, 4th at best, too, that I don't like watching Noxus gameplay, and it's just Darius failing to ult to Sejuani just round after round.
Yeah, it's really tough watching people choose to quadruple contest on a C tier comp into 8th place. It kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I get that it's very easy to say that from the proverbial casting booth, where we kind of have the luxury of not really worrying about people watching us and not really worrying about, what decisions we're making. It's very easy to say it when you're not kind of the one in the middle of the scrum. But God, sometimes it's hard to watch people playing these comps.
Yeah, and it's just kind of the reality of the moment, right? I'm in the caster booth because I enjoy blaming people for mistakes that I myself would make. And I get to do that because you guys never actually see me play. It's pretty silly.
Easy.
It makes this a whole lot easier. Well, yeah, so we've got a pretty interesting start here, a very early Ashe 2 out of our good friend Rylan. What do you think about this start, Polar? We've got 4 Ashes so far.
4 Ashes. I mean, yeah, pretty good, especially with the Caitlyn augment. Looking for some early game, kind of, get the ball rolling quick. I would love to see probably a level up. What's with this Aurelia? Is this a bug?
No. So that is the augment that Rylan picked. The Caitlyn Hero, or the Caitlyn Legend augment, allows you to instantly tier upgrade the first 1 cost and the first 2 cost you buy with the augment. So we bought the Ash, and so that got instantly 2-starred. And since he hasn't used the 1-star buy yet,
Right.
all the 1-stars you see will show up as silver like that.
Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not a Caitlyn player, so I haven't really seen an augment form yet.
Yeah. That Darius is going to be a MF problem early on. The Hodge Titans Resolve Darius on 2-1 is going to be a problem for a lot of this lobby. But on the other hand, it also does mean that someone else is going Noxus, and I want the reign of terror to end.
Please free me from this ethereal prison.
Get me out of here!
Get me out! No more Noxus, please.
We got a 2-star Jin, and so Jin's trials and tribulations have been well documented on this.
Right. Yeah.
And so I am going to start keeping a mental tally of how many times he is useful versus how many times he just ints it away. So right now it's early game. There isn't too much to say. Going level 4 and adding Jin in
barely squeaks it in.
He just does it, but at what cost?
You gotta love when Jin just hits, man. It feels so good.
Yeah.
And he hits the little Dougie in the bot. Oh, look at
he is spinning. He do be spinning.
He is getting so sturdy with it right now.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a big win. You probably was level 3, but just Poppy Maokai 2-star for your second is big. With the Action, that's a big level 4 roll.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. For who did they just play? M Haas. I don't remember who they just played. Who the last?
I did not see. Might have been Ty. I do not remember.
Yeah, I don't remember. But it was it's kind of tough to level up to 2-star, but also stay level 3. It feels like I don't know. It's a good way to get a safe loss streak starting. Oh, that is such an int.
Jin with the kill steal, but he ends up just. That is not what you want to start off.
That's this guy just flashed under enemy tower, got the kill, but at what cost?
If I'm an up and coming Action, I do not want to see my Jin pulling shots off like that. It just rubs off on the rest of the team culture, you know?
Yeah.
You're a big locker room guy, Polar.
Yeah, I mean, locker room is just so important in TFT. I think the morale of your units, it's just, you see these so many selfish plays on boards that kind of not necessarily play for themselves, but just kind of, they think they're above the process. And at the end of the day, you can't have a winning team that's above the process.
I've often said this. Many people have.
Yeah, no one in this level is talented enough to be able to overcome being a bad teammate.
You can really learn about that in Amethyst. But yeah.
When you're down in courts, that's when you really have to earn every one of your wins. You have to be on top of your mental game, because for a fact that your mechanical gameplay just isn't there. So you have to make up for it with kind of positive team leadership.
Yeah, so I think Ryland's spot here is a little bit awkward. We took the Caitlyn augment, got some early 2-stars, but they don't really line up with the items we have. We haven't quite been pushing our advantage for a good win streak early. And that's a lot of the benefit of running Caitlyn as your legend here. So it's definitely a hard spot to try and play from, because we see we don't have forward that eye, we don't have a front line, we don't really have items, and you're just kind of stuck in this awkward no man's land with no real clear direction out of here, at least for a while.
Yeah, I agree. And especially Ryland is on the lower end of the total bracket for the night. And so if they want to move on, they've got to really, really play their behind off to get into this final bracket. And so I say that we let them do that in peace while we rotate and go watch some apathy gameplay.
All right, flipping over to Apathy's perspective. Now, interestingly, Apathy is currently, let me see, currently in 4th place overall, but there's a 3-way tie for first, and Apathy's only 1 point behind that. So he's almost in a 4-way tie for first, and has been having a pretty fine night after a very memorable Kale reroll game early on.
Yeah,
Yes,
Apathy
right now
just
he's
being
running
a
the sorcerer.
crowd favorite.
Crowd favorite.
Yeah,
Crowd
Apathy,
favorite.
you know him. You may not love him, but you do know him. And he's going to make some plays. And so he's running the sorcerer so far. I'm curious, like, is this an Ari angle? Is this a Lux angle? Like, where does this comp go in the end? Or do we know and we just have to kind of wait to see how items unfold?
Yeah, we're probably waiting for items here.
Right.
Apathy only has 2 items right now. So that means in those first neutral rounds, he likely got a lot of gold. And so he's probably trying to play flexibly and wait until the items from Krugs here to give him a bit of a clearer direction.
Mhm.
I mean, you see that Karma on bench as well, likely could be an out. He's collecting those Targons, those Invokers on the bench, those Sorcerers, and probably looking to head in an AP direction here.
What's your favorite tank item? Like when you're early in the game and you're just trying to build like a completed tank item, like maybe to go on a lose streak, but a lose streak that's like comfortable and doesn't lose you too much HP. Like of all of there's Stone Plate, there's Warmogs, there's Dragon's Tooth. Like what do you end up preferring the most?
I think my favorite is actually Protector's Vow, which is tier chain. It gives you bonus starting mana, like a lot of bonus starting mana. And once you hit a certain HP threshold, you get a max health percentage shield and some extra armor stats on top of that. So it's a really effective use of 2 items that are sort of difficult to get rid of if you have too many. Right? Bramble Vest is all you can really make if you have too many chain vests, and it's not great right now. You can't really make a lot of good items if you have too many tiers. And so it's a really useful tank item that can neutralize some of those weaker components that are harder to use.
I see. Ooh, that is a lot of XP. He's
Yeah.
re-rolling because he doesn't want to take it, but I know he's looking at it. He's thinking about it. Will he take the Asol Augment? No, he doesn't.
No, interesting.
All right, so he's almost up to 6. He's got a lot of components. He's in the middle of the board. Like, Apathy's sitting pretty right now. Like, things aren't perfect, but they're not dire. Like, he has a lot of room to work around and get creative, whereas some people, like Axel, we just saw in this last player combat round, that Darius with the Hodge and the Titan Resolve, that thing is pretty strong, but it won't be for the entire game. And so, like, for the most part, I think Apathy's got to feel relatively comfortable with this spot on the board.
Yeah. And so, we've got shoplifting. We're probably looking to stay Karma reroll here and just stay on level 6, level 7 for the Karma 3. You've got the Jeweled Gauntlet. You have a Shojin on bench as well, should you need it. You have half a component for an Ionic Spark. You've got a very, very nice, clean line towards Karma here, and likely where we will see Apathy headed. For now, I would actually like to switch over and take a look at Ty's perspective.
Yeah.
That is Wanna Sparta Cranberry, something like that. I'm not sure what that is supposed to mean.
Want a Sprite Cranberry?
Wanna Sprite Cranberry. Okay.
You know what? I do want a Sprite Cranberry.
Now that you mention it. But Ty is one of those players. Want a Sprite Cranberry. Thank you, Mr. Yeti. And I appreciate you. So yeah, Ty is one of those players in a 3-way tie for first place at 18 points. A very clean line for a nice Tristana reroll game here. We'll
God,
off the Poppy
that is thick. Oh, it's a thick boy.
Yeah, we got a very nice start for this Tristana comp
He
here.
does whatever he wants, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's 10:30 here at the TTFT after hours.
Yeah, we're
Broadcast.
we're in real.
The kids are in bed. We're you know we're putting the Sprite cranberries away. We're getting some hard drinks out for sure.
A lot of Sprite cranberry. But
But
yeah, so
Maokai
the
3.
The great thing about Ty's comp here is that he's got the Deathblade augment, which gives you a Deathblade for the Tristana, a ton of extra attack damage, and also makes it so that any kill this Tristana gets has a chance to drop 2 gold. So you'll see Ty rolling very deeply here, spending a lot of gold on refreshes to hit these 3 stars early. To get to that 4-star Tristana, the Tristana will then kill more units and generate more gold to recoup a lot of that economy loss. So a very smart play here, really taking advantage of the items and the augments and the champions that he has rolled so far.
Yeah, so
Flexible play style that has benefited him greatly up to this point in the tournament.
Yeah, so Ty's playing optimal right now. Like he's kind of getting in his damage and his play style, like when he needs to. Even though you look at the HP on the right side of your screen, and it's not perfect, but like it's working. It's he's probably going to end up top half of this board.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Especially once the Poppy comes online and you get the Tristana 4 and the 3-star front line, and it's a very nice spot to be if you're looking to qualify for our final championship round here.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of, I believe we have a few players in this lobby who are somewhat on the cusp of qualifying for our final lobby.
Yeah, so
One of those
who's going to do what?
One of those being our very own Mr. Yeti, who is currently tied for 7th overall and is sitting in a precarious 8th place on the overall HP board.
Let's see if he's got what it takes.
I believe our producer had to step away for a moment, so we will stick with Ty just for a little bit longer.
Hey, he's typing to us in the match chat.
He's sitting pretty preciously right now.
I think that's he's not typing as much in he just
I mean, yeah, his board
yeah.
is looking.
There we go. All right, we're going to flip over to Mr. Yeti's perspective here
Oh yeah, we're watching Mr. Yeti right
and
now.
try to get him back on here. See what he can do to scrape and claw his way back into qualifying standing here.
Yeah, look, not much on the board. He's got I think a single 2-star. I'm not quite sure here. Back. But yeah, a 2-star Samira and you look at Ty with a 3-star Maokai. You now see a 1-star Maokai. Yeah, Wolves is going to be a tough battle. You got a position for Wolves for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, looking at this board, you might have the position for Wolves.
Yeah.
That's rough. And let it be known, full caster bias, I want Mr. Yeti to make it into the final bracket. All right, I am going to be pulling any kind of production strings that I can in order to make this happen, just because it's what the people want, it's what the people need. But I will admit, this is a little bit of a spooky board.
Not everything's bad. Again, economy-wise, is looking very good. 50 gold, level 8 already. So you see the level up augment. I mean, I think this is definitely doable. I mean, 28 health is not something you love. A lot of non-built items as well. Oh, we see some planning here, but this roll down needs to be legendary.
Yeah, this is a challenging situation here, and I think this is something that Level Up kind of baits a lot of players into, is leveling up a little bit too quickly. Right? Because what is happening to Yeti here is that he sees Level Up, he sees a lot of XP augments and says, okay, I am going to level as fast as I possibly can. The problem is that while you level, your board isn't actually getting stronger compared to the rest of the lobby. And so you're taking progressively bigger losses And unless you can stabilize successfully, then it's just going to be too difficult, right? And so this is the plan that he wants. He wants to hit level 9. We hope to see him level here and just roll for every 5 costs he can get. If he can win 1 or 2 rounds here, he's going to be in a very good spot. But this is where your APM needs to be very high.
He's doing it.
He's
doing
need
it.
to be crazy here.
Oh my God, he's doing it. We're witnessing generational greatness.
All right, and this is what we're seeing. This is good. We're taking out the bad units. We're putting some better stuff in there. All right, we're redistributing our items onto the units that do things.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
All right, and this looks like a significantly improved.
Now put the items on. You can do it. Come on, quick, Mr. Yeti, quick! You can do it. Oh no, let's go. All right, come on.
All right.
That was enough.
If we can live this round, we are in a good spot.
Yeah. All right.
Then
this looks like a really good one. Right? So if you're Yeti here, you cannot sit here and watch this fight. You need to be thinking, okay, if I win this, how do I play my next turn? Because you need to have that line set up and ready to execute right away. Right? You still got a Samira on board. Okay? This thing does not need to be here. You probably can't afford Heimer upgrades, but that's okay. Right? We're just looking for ways to scrape this board a little bit stronger. Right? We're playing 1 turn at a time now, trying to turn this 8th into a 5th or a 6th if possible.
this is just so scary.
It's terrifying. Oh, it's completely
terrifying. Scary. These 5 costs, I mean, if you hit, obviously, but he has no, I don't think he has a single.
We're up against Axel and the Darius from hell.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Monk with W, Darius is back. Oh, Cassante! Cassante!
Another pass?
Come on.
Out of the boat.
Oh my
That
God.
is a play to make.
Cassante!
Oh my
He's
God.
doing it!
I'm Cassante.
That is a play to make.
He can Sante!
Oh my
I
God.
cannot believe what I'm witnessing in front of my very eyes.
Sante!
Just completely messes him off the board. Like, that's a clutch play. Set like that Darius is about to, not a very tanky comp yet he's got. The Shen, like the Sante himself, but if that Darius gets a 25 stack Titan Dissolve and he starts queuing your backline, he is going to be jumping around for sure.
Yeah. Let it be known that if this was Summoner's Rift and that Darius is my teammate, I'm pulling out old words in the book that have not been used in quite some time.
Yeah,
Right?
that will be the last
I am getting chat banned, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm getting chat banned. I'm uninstalling the game afterwards. Like I'm pretty pissed that this guy just straight up ulted my teammate off of the map. And then he did that like twice. Like he did that to like multiple units, I'm pretty sure. So ultimately, this dude's got to be happy with some of that performance.
All right, and yeah, so you look at your board, you say, okay, where can I make improvements? I got 3 Bastion out of 4. I've got 3 Invoker out of 4. You know, something's got to go, right?
Ooh, Soraka. I don't know what you would put the Soraka in for. No, I don't think you put it in.
Right now, I kind of want him to put in the Scion instead of the Karma, but.
Well, that's the trick, right? Because then you lose Ionia on your Ahri, and she doesn't get enough mana to cast, and you've got all these other cascading problems.
Yeah,
You're Bastion, though, right?
I think they should nerf Bastion. What do you think?
Yeah, that hero's a little OP.
We couldn't quite pull it out in the end. We used
very nice try.
The invisible hand of the market, but ultimately it could not take it all the way.
A very, very nice try. And that's a hard spot to play. That's a hard lesson to learn. And you know, I get baited into doing that all the time. So
hey, as they regularly say, you win some, you lose some. So it's all about the integrity of competition here. And Mr. Yeti certainly has that, even if he doesn't have
all right, who are we going to next, Polar?
Let's go back to the Lupus Legend at 6 health.
Back to Rylan?
Back to Rylan.
All right.
Pulling through like 2 back-to-back wins here Got the dinger, fully stacked. Maybe a little run.
And in honor of Christopher Nolan's new movie.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
He's got the
and
open dinger.
Big.
It's
Big-
close. It's close.
Oh my God.
No, that's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking.
Literally, like,
That is so
one
tragic.
extra point of
He has to
HP.
be pissed after that for sure.
All right. I think it's time we move on.
But yeah, that's unfortunate.
Let's consider
Alright.
Jewish missiles up too.
Yeah, let's see Jewish Missile. We had an extremely creative Pandora's Bench play, or Pandora's
Played
Items
Void
play rather,
again.
from Jewish Missile in game 1, and we're back to Void. Yes,
This
sir.
guy's playing Void again. What a hero. And he's playing John Javelkas.
Challenger
Take care of
Valkyries.
chicken.
Me when I play mid.
I was gonna say that actually sounds like something I would play mid. I need to get back on my Hail of Blades Bard mid arc. That was so much fun. All right, he's got the blue blessing. which is
Jewish
pretty
Missile,
strong.
you have 2 Chogats in.
No, he
I hope
doesn't.
he hears me. Maybe
Oh, yeah,
not.
he does.
You get 3 in there.
He doesn't. Yeah. Why
It's show
stop
bros.
there?
Toss another one in there. Let's get it cooking, bud.
From a hit show beat, The Chosen One.
A chosen one. The Tyx are still cooking with that Tristana
See,
4.
she's-
Actually managed to hit
He's
everyone.
showing on my Cho'Gath gang. Like, what can
Yeah.
I say? Like,
I'm
everyone
doing the
rolls
gas,
through.
and it's adding up to a victory right now.
Yes, sir. My
This Void comp
calculations
is really
are
cool.
telling me.
I wish it was better. It's really cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
alright.
it's like the slightly edgier and cooler, like, Yordles. Like, old school Yordles. But, like,
Mm.
The
Yordles are,
Vigar.
yeah, Yordles are generally cringe. And I don't think people should like them or play them. In fact, I'm gonna say it live on Twitch channel. I think people should be racist to Yordles.
Well,
I-
no. Okay, no.
No.
You're not allowed to say that.
I don't think Yordles should be able to. All right, I'll stop there.
I'm
Oh my
standing here
gosh.
for
You
Yordle's
owe
rights.
Tristan an apology right now.
I simply will not apologize to Tristana.
When can we live in a society where Yordles are accepted as a TFT board?
But all right, so we see Jewish Missile kind of rolling here, looking to stabilize. You've got the Kaisa pair on bench. That's a really big spike for you if you can get it online. Also kind of losing some rounds recently, 2 loss streak, 17 HP. I believe Jewish Missile is...
40 gold.
Let's see. Jewish Missile is currently
40
11th in our
gold.
standings. So if Jewish Missile can find a nice
40
top
gold.
4 finish here,
Roll.
that may be enough to push him into that qualifying
Yeah,
position.
he's got a chance. So this is when it matters.
No,
Like,
bro. He is looking. Okay.
yeah, if you die with this much gold in your pocket, that's gonna feel so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's big. That
though.
is
That's
so big.
Come on. I
Where's
think
the
we just need to
Velvet?
hit the- yeah,
Oh,
just
we
need
have
to hit the
7
Velvet.
void. Surely that's not ideal.
Yes.
Oh! No!
Let's go! All right, we got the Baron.
The
We're
Baron is
online, boys.
online!
Let's see. If
Oh,
we have
Cho
what it
reroll
takes
from Dark
to
Daddy. I
come
love
up
it.
Against Dark Daddy, who also has a Baron. That's
This
so
is
frustrating.
terrifying. Oh my gosh, the Baron duel.
What in the hell? Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
really frustrating to finally come against Baron. Like
Yeah.
he's been searching for this unit for basically the entire night, and then literally the round he runs into it.
He gets hit
runs
by
into
a
the only
stronger
other person
Baron.
who's doing it.
Oh
And the
my
Shogat.
gosh. I am molding if I'm Jewish Missile right
Heartbreaking.
now.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking to watch.
All right, well, I want to watch Void. Let's hop over to Dark
Yeah,
Daddy.
that's what I'm doing.
I love the Baron. He's just cool.
All right, so we're in top 4.
All
We
right, yeah,
watching
we
Dark
are
Daddy?
on to top 4 here.
Yeah, I'm
With the
watching
Dark Daddy.
All right.
And this is okay. So this is a much less common version of this Void comp, going for the Cho'Gath and Rek'Sai reroll. You see, for the 3rd augment here, we hit Golden Ticket, so we're getting free shop refreshes once in a while. which likely gave Dark Daddy enough refreshes to reliably hit that Cho and that Rek'Sai. So very smart choice to play this comp in this kind of situation and create that environment for yourself.
Throwback to the gold augment 2 free refreshes every single round. That's a good old day.
Oh, classic. Back in
And
the
Noxus.
Can Baron be crowd controlled?
No, you
I
cannot.
was gonna say it'd be kind of OP to like just like Zephyr the Baron out, or if you could like Cassandre the Baron out.
It might be able to get Zephyred. I don't know. That's a really good question, actually.
Baron's feet is planted.
Yeah, he's got the immovable like gold badge
Yeah.
for sure. He you can't bully him in the post. Many have tried, many have failed.
Right. Yeah, you come into his pit and you don't always leave him.
Oh, hey, yeah.
Whoa! Oh no.
Whoa.
All right,
whoa,
so putting this Baron spawn in the second row is kind of an interesting choice. Looks like we want to use that more as a damage carry than as a tank in this situation, which is pretty interesting. Baron also does a bit of a knock-up like we see there when he first spawns. And the damage is unbelievable.
That is
Damage
so
is
crazy.
insane.
Look at this
Can you
dude cook.
influence how much damage he does, or is every Baron the same?
So Baron gets stronger for every star level your voids have.
I see.
So the more 3-star voids you have, the stronger your Baron will be. And we've got quite a few of them.
Still goes down.
Yes.
Sprite Cranberry over there.
With love of Vel'Koz.
Axel unfortunately goes out in 4th that turn as well. Pretty good showing from them this round.
Absolutely.
Might be the best Void showing. Actually getting a top 4. Or not Void, Noxus.
Noxus, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah,
did
I think it was the one lobby where it wasn't completely contested either.
Yeah. All
All
right.
right,
So
we
we
got
still,
Tommy.
after all this time, we still have that thick ass Maokai on the board.
Yeah, he is just.
You know what? I might hit up that Maokai afterwards. I'm gonna be like, hey, what's up? My name's Kraken. Like, what's up with you? Like,
There's something wrong with you,
can I
bro.
take you out sometime? I don't know. You're looking good. Like all these items you got on you, like you could fresh. Like, is it just me? +2's in chat.
Yes. Is it just me? Yes.
Alright.
No,
Type
no
one-
one say yes. No one
Type
say
1 if you're hitting up the thick Maokai after this game. 2 for no.
2 for
maybe.
put me in the mental ward. No, I'm just saying,
Dark
like,
Daddy here is in a
like-
really good spot. We're 2 off Kaisa 3 with no items, but hey. This is a really tough matchup, though. This Ari and Lux combo is going to shred everything that comes in their context.
Yeah.
And a little bit slow there. So we see the weakness of Baron.
Yeah.
Let's flip over to Apathy's perspective in the meantime. But it feels like Baron should be stronger, though. That's
Victory.
that's a chase trait.
Wait, did the game just end?
Oh,
that was it.
okay.
Well,
Well,
I
Apathy wins.
had a couple more Maokai jokes planned up. I didn't get the chance to.
Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to make them.
I appreciate that round ended early, though.
I was gonna turn the lights down low. I was gonna pour a glass of wine, maybe play some light saxophone, But I just,
Dude,
all right, my bad. I guess I'm not doing it anymore. Okay, whatever. I don't even care.
oh my
Different type
gosh.
of Dark Daddy's gonna join.
Billy with the 1 in chat. Okay.
Thanks, first time chatter.
Thanks, Billy. Thank you.
First time chatter, long time listener.
Only to tune in and just bump me over and be like, that's enough out of this guy.
All right, so I believe Lobby A is finishing up here pretty quickly. Let me check in very briefly with them. They're currently sitting at top 4. So, yeah, let's actually flip over there. We've got a really interesting match developing. And I'm going to join Phoebe's perspective
Oh, that's what I clicked on, just purely serendipitously.
over to
Oh
Lobby
my
A.
god, look at this.
Phoebe's
Look at
blunder.
this capped ass board.
After,
Holy
I'd probably
cow.
say first game being a Phoebe blunder, coming back to a 72 health first is inspiring, to say the least.
And this is like a hard meta comp. Like 4 Deadeye, 3 Freljord. We've got the Targon chunking up. We've got a really nice situation for Phoebe here, and a very clean road to the top 2 here at least.
Yeah, Phoebe's going pretty sicko mode on this. There are so many units on the board that are really, really strong right now.
Billy Goma with the Twitch Prime.
Shout out.
Hey.
Yeah.
Shout out my guy, Billy.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking about Maokai, I guess.
Yeah, man.
I think he might want you to talk more about Maokai.
No, he was the one who first time chatted said one. He said, please stop.
Oh, I thought 1 was for the good answer. Like, yes, I like that.
No, I think.
Oh, yeah. No,
thought,
one. I like Maokai.
Oh, never mind. I thought, my bad.
Go over to OnlyFans.com/Kraken for some Maokai late night chat.
Yeah. Can we make sure to get this game on stream right now? Because while I do think I look quite handsome, we're missing some pretty inspirational Phoebe Wonder gameplay. 1 equals like Maokai. Oh, all right.
1 equals like Maokai. Yeah.
All right. I'll do my best. I'll use everything in my power to make sure that in the next lobby we get some Maokai enjoyers.
Yeah.
Seems like we've run into a brief tech issue with production for right now, so you guys are stuck with us. No, but I guess we can commentate this like it's a baseball game on the radio. Thoughts?
I'll do my Polar. Is this when we need to start doing the interpretive dances?
Interpretive dances.
Yeah.
Maybe at 11.
Are we gonna start doing some interpretive dances? I think I can make that work.
So for those of you who cannot see this right now, we've got Phoebe Wonder with 43 gold, level 9, and 52 HP. We have Charybdis with 19 HP on a win streak, level 10. Level 10. So these are some pretty maxed out boards we're dealing with right now. And we're getting full stacked Heimer turrets. We're rolling for 2-star, 5 costs. We are doing everything we can to absolutely cap these boards off to the best of our abilities.
Get a couple dabs in here. Yeah. Oh
my gosh, you guys are actually going for it. Did I get dropped?
All right, that's all you guys get for now.
Get that Twitch Prime for more.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah. Oh, I didn't have my headphones on that entire time.
Okay. I've been here commentating. My Twitch crashed, so I couldn't even see you guys going crazy.
Oh man, you missed out.
I sure did.
Whoever was here just missed out on some like generational clipping. I was pretty prime, if I do say so myself. I'm not sure that Trank has ever.
I was twitching.
I was gonna say I snapped.
Snapped.
Twitch.tv/TranquilityGG has never seen such inspirationally entertaining content. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, and so Phoebe did win 1 round about Charybdis, against Charybdis, I should say. Charybdis still hanging on with 6 HP here, but did hit the Heimer too, so has gotten stronger since the last matchup. And both of them are sitting at no gold, so this is winding down and starting to come to an end here. But we've got some very close final matches.
Yeah, this is like Naruto versus Sasuke, like the Lakers versus Celtics. This is like with the dying breath is this like final matchup going to unfold. Like I think, and also correct me if I'm wrong, these are people who are like fighting to be in final bracket. Like this is like an important game for Phoebe, I think.
Yeah, Charybdis is pretty stable, tied for first right now going into this match. But Phoebe is... Where did you go? Phoebe is kind of towards the bottom, so sitting at 14th overall before this match. And so this could be a really big swing in Phoebe's favor if things go well.
Yeah, so like, oh my God, there's just a Rise 2 just sitting on the bench right now for the low cost.
I don't need it. I don't need it.
I don't need it. maybe you don't need it, but it might be a little bit more helpful than the Jin.
Jin is doing the
Oh.
Jedi.
I guess you do need the Deadeye. Whatever.
This is Jin, who's been up and down. We know, and he's up. He's in a championship position right now,
Yeah.
and we are going to see if he can perform. It's a big task. Misses. He finds his way in between both the carries and
Oh my gosh!
Oh
but
my
the
God, that-
Aphelios is
teammate.
farming.
Hey.
Oh my goodness!
All right,
Wow.
Phoebe does it. I think
That's
that
it.
means Phoebe makes it into the final bracket. Or
Can't
well, I'm
believe
not
my
sure,
eyes.
but he's at least given himself a real shot. Which is
Yeah, there is definitely a real chance there. We'll have to do some calculations. But yeah, absolutely. That was a very well played game by Phoebe Wonder out of nowhere.
I'm doing my
out of
calculations.
nowhere.
And Phoebe Wonder is no longer Phoebe Blunder. I think that is for sure.
So real.
All right, so we are on to our finals bracket. I think all of the calculations should be updated and correct. We do have a complicated tiebreaker to figure out real quick. So
Big
we're going to
fight.
kick it to just one more break. We're going to calculate this tiebreaker out, get all of our final lobby contestants in and ready to go, and we will be back with you very, very shortly. Just a few minutes here, folks. All right, everybody, welcome finally to our finals of the TTFTT3. I can still say that. It's been a long night, but we're still going hard, still going strong. We had quite an exciting finish to qualification. We had a 4-way tie for positions 6 through 9. And so one person, Frozen, almost missed out off tiebreaker. But turns out Capital actually has to go. I believe his mother turned off his internet. So Frozen's in. We've got everybody in here. So we are going to get everything fired up. Polar and Kraken, what are you most looking forward to about our new lobby here?
I think final bracket is always the most exciting. I think that the third match we just had, ended up being so cool because it came down to Phoebe clutching a first in third lobby, and that was what made the difference between them making final lobby. And so the stakes matter here, and I think one of the things that TFT tends to fall flat in is the fact that you can technically climb by just playing for like a comfortable third or fourth place every once in a while. But here, placement doesn't matter except number one. This is true if you ain't first, you're last. And so it is way more exciting to see the kind of lengths and the risks that people have to take, because you're not going to be able to make first if you don't make some like crazy risks. But there's a reason they're risky. So I'm just curious to see like who is able to truly make this all work in the end.
I mean,
Yeah,
we got
exactly.
the best of the best.
Yeah, and from here on, it's worth noting that the results of the qualifying rounds don't matter. It doesn't matter what seed you come into this final lobby, whether you are Apathy at 27 points in first place, or if you're Frozen at 14 points who just got lucky from a player drop. It doesn't matter how you got here. It's all about this one lobby, and whoever wins this one lobby is taking home the coveted TTFTT crown.
Right. So
And
we
we're
see
seeing
a
a
scuttle puddle. Funnily enough, Noxus was not voted in. There was a Noxus themed, I don't know, not augment, but land. He could have picked him. You know, I think all the Noxus players are no longer with us.
Look at Frozen start. Look at Frozen start. Look at Frozen start.
I don't want
But
to.
here it is.
Why?
You can't fucking make me look at it.
This is
I probably shouldn't have said that. Whoops. Apologies.
We have the Darius and the Samira. 2 out of 3 Noxes. And my friends, it is time to hold hands to 7th Ave. I can feel it.
I'm ascending.
I am really ascending.
Darius is just chopping wood, but he don't know what the heck is going on. He is just launching himself all over these scuttle crowds.
Darius does not know the pain we've witnessed watching his fathers and grandfathers play this tournament. He's coming into
His
this.
grandfathers.
This Darius doesn't understand his bloodline, but we do. We know for a fact.
I was there.
Is that his destiny is just to chop wood in the face of Baron Nasher, as he doesn't know what else to do.
So Polar, I heard you get pretty excited about Scuttle Puddle. What are your feelings about this particular portal?
Scuttle Puddle, man. As a jungler, you know, getting Scuttle Crab is tough, you know, because they're always running away from you. I'm always missing my abilities on it. So it's nice in TFT being able to finally just murder those little ant things without being scared of dying. Also, Krugs are my arch nemesis in this. I lose to Krugs way too much.
Dude, Krugs are OP. When are they going to nerf Krugs?
That's what I've been saying. But
Oh, interesting augment pick from Frozen.
yeah, just some straight bag collector off the bat. Not
Stacking
really
bands.
Yeah. And also, this is the first Toro we've seen, Legend.
Oh,
Just
yeah, I think so.
vanilla, just Joe Schmo, just
I knew you were gonna say
bit of an
Joe
ego
Schmo.
pick. Bit of an ego pick. But I mean, we'll see, man. Coming in as a 9th seed, then go to Poro is bold for sure.
I respect the hustle, man. Poro is like the Giga Chad
Right.
legend. Like, I don't care what the game gives me, I will beat you regardless. I don't need any shortcuts or handouts.
Oh, Darius almost gets a double cast.
But here, I really like Frozen's first augment choice here in the Rich Get Richer
Oh,
because
come on.
it increases your economy interest threshold to 70 instead of 50. And in a portal like Scuttle Puddle, you're getting a whole lot of extra gold from neutral rounds that you wouldn't otherwise be getting. And so you're much more likely to actually hit those economy thresholds compared to other portals, right? So I think the idealism augment would have also been good for that Hand of Justice if Frozen wanted to force a Darius reroll here. But the Rich Get Richer allows for a much more flexible, fluid playstyle, which seems to be Frozen's preference given the Poro choice as well. So very smart and safe decision for Frozen that could really pay dividends here in this final lobby.
All right, even though Frozen is playing Noxus right now, I would love for Frozen to win.
Yeah.
I think just the sheer like serendipity of being able to make final bracket, like technically, like you made it close and you lost on tiebreaker, and then through someone else dropping to like make final bracket. Oh my god, I would love for Frozen to win. Because you know
this
what?
is
Here at the TTFTT, we're a tournament for the people. All right, of the people, by the people, for the people. And ultimately, I think that this is a great showing when it comes down to the fact that someone who is like kind of new to the community, kind of new to the TTFTT, like that even you can win. And I think it's pretty important to be able to give people an environment to come out and compete and have fun and do their best. And so I'm rooting for the underdog right now. I'm rooting for Frozen to go all the way.
I mean, so the best part about Frozen here is not only did they squeak in after Cap had to go, but they're also the only person in this lobby we have not spectated yet. And they were originally on the wait list and got added to the tournament with our expansion today.
There's just no.
Oh my
So,
god.
This is just an amazing storyline for Frozen to come in here after so many things go their way and play just a nice, quality, smart game of TFT and really make it happen where it
There's
where it
so much
happens.
serendipity going on right now, and
This is the American
I'm happy
dream.
for it.
Ashley, I see you in Twitch chat. You also did not get spec'd. I'm sorry. Frozen is I'm sorry. I thought you did, but I was wrong.
What? Oh, okay. That's a really big mistake on our part. I'm sorry.
sorry.
We should have done that. Let's just kick
I got
out.
you
He's not doing
confused with
anything
someone
right at
else.
the bottom
I
of the lineup.
apologize, Ashley. That is completely my fault.
Wait,
But
no,
I'm glad to
she's
see
in
you
the
here
lobby
too.
now.
Yeah.
Let's just go back.
She's in the lobby here too.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Right,
that is
let's
a
flip over. Flip over
Wait,
to
no,
Ashley.
share your screen.
Ashley, share your
Then
screen.
We'll go. Just share your screen. We'll hop in and spec you right now.
Ashley is just confident in the Twitch chat mid-game.
Yeah,
There we
she.
go.
Oh my god, she doesn't give a
That
shit,
is
man.
bold.
You didn't
That's
spec me,
so
Ashley. We
crazy.
can't spec you. You're not letting.
No, now she is.
Now she is. All right, awesome. So what's standing out to you about this one, Polar?
Nothing much. This is a
Oh, she's
Rogue
got
Boy
the
board, if I've seen
She's
one.
got the Maokai.
I am looking at this. You know, Kraken
Sword
is
Maokai.
getting giddy with this Maokai. Sorceress too, though. So yeah, I know he's been putting some wizardry tricks on Kraken's mind this night, but I mean, I'm interested to see what comes up here. Maokai is great. He's like a mini kind of built-in. I don't want to say gargoyles, but like the more people target him, the more healing he's gonna get, which is very nice with the sorcerers as well. I find it's a very strong kind of tank ability. I don't hate the sorcerers, honest. You know, you gotta have a sorcerer somewhere. You can't really have it on the backline unit.
Yeah, and there's like you said, like we're level 5.
Wise.
You know, there's not a lot of other places
Yeah.
where that Sork's about to go, right? I mean, it's either Maokai or Poppy right now, so kind of makes sense for the Maokai.
As well, holding on to a lot of items.
Yeah. So what are you guys making of the item situation here?
I mean, I think it's pretty smart. I think it's early in the game. You're in a fine place HP wise. You're on a slight win streak, and so is it worth it to maybe like put an item on? Like, yeah, maybe, but like it's early enough that you don't have the units that are really going to make up your final board yet, and so it's fine to just like take a couple more rounds. Like there's one more combat round and then Krugs. I think it's fine if you get like a close combat either way, and then let Krugs roll through, get your gold, get your units, get your extra item components, and then like that's when you commit. That's when you start needing deciding like, okay, what am I really playing here? But for now, I think she's set up fine.
Yeah, and winning rounds as well, right? So might as well just save the items if you're stable, you're winning, you're healthy. You know, you don't need to get stronger if you don't need to, right? Might as well save them to make a more informed decision later on. We're going to see a lot of gold come out of these scuttles as well. But anyway, Polar, go ahead.
As well, a big lack of rods and mana glue things. I'm focused right now, but yeah. So maybe like an AP player could be. I might want to slam a gargoyles on the Maokai. But yeah, I mean, if you're playing for more sorcerers, AP backline, you don't really have many options right now. Yeah, I don't hate the play for sure.
Yeah, and so I'm sure we'll see Ashley make some items here after the scuttles dissipate. But there's the rod we were kind of looking for. And you've got a ton of options, right? You've got a Giant Slayer on bench, you've got a Gargoyle, you have the Gunblade now, you've got a lot of different lines to take. And so the sign of a good player in situations like this is identifying, what is your playstyle preference? Like what kinds of lines do you like to guide yourself towards? And how can you craft your items in a way that send you down those lines but keep you flexible enough where you can pivot if you don't hit things? So the stone plate makes sense here. Another option would be making an ionic spark and going for like a giant slayer with your other items, and maybe you look to play Lux here, commit to the Sorks. But I think this is a totally reasonable line to take as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely not a bad spot to be in. Giant Slayer is tough to slam early-ish game, but if you are going Lux, it's a massive item to have.
Yeah, it really helps you shred through that front line fast enough to do your job.
Yeah. All right. What do you guys say we hop down to Ty and see how they're doing here? Kind of
love to
get some bottom of the line or bottom of the HP and see what's going on.
36 HP. Or
36
XP.
XP.
Oh my
36 HP.
XP is what I.
Yeah. That's a lot either way.
All right,
yeah,
Ty.
So here, this is
just up
being at 65 health right now is not the end of the world. You're at 65 HP and you have these items and these units, you get a tiny bit more worried.
He's setting himself down an Aphelios path here with the 4 Deadeye already. You've got the Runon's Rageblade, Giant Slayer, or Runon's Rageblade, IE, and Deathblade. So you've got a pretty clear line towards Aphelios. I'm sure we'll get to see that come online relatively quickly. But running against Frozen's Darius 2 already. Oh my gosh.
Oh, right.
Mono win streak as well, so Nox will be doing a lot of damage.
And Nox's Lux in the back.
Wow. That is just abominable. Unfortunately, no Maokai, no win. As it has been prophesized. So
you hate to see it.
That's tough. Ball does not lie in this scenario. That's all I can
Unfortunately,
say.
I have to agree. Ball does not lie. Really interesting lobby so far. We've got a whole lot of different directions. Got a Noxus Lux on the board. I think Soul was playing set reroll. So definitely a lot of creativity coming out. Not our typical meta comps that we're used to seeing over and over again.
Yeah.
It's always the fun part of games like these.
Absolutely.
Ooh, Soraka could be really big here with the with the Tarek. Just upgrades your front line so much. Granted, you don't even have much of a front line now. You don't have the
Yeah, if you're just putting
But-
Tarek out here, it's kind of like
Tarek needs to hold us down.
the Spartans in 300 or whatever. That he just has to hold the line all by himself.
We have
It's just
4
not a
backline
reasonable
characters,
ask.
the 2 front line. This big stun.
Yeah, this.
Oh my
Cassian
gosh,
is
this
looking
Lissandra.
beefy as hell.
Wow.
Wow.
I
So
can't
much
believe-
damage.
I can't believe what I just witnessed. Well, there's a reason that I'm not playing, and that's one of them. Because sometimes, yeah, you can think you have everything figured out on paper, but you don't. You don't. I don't.
I don't.
play the games. That's why TFT isn't a game you can just play on spreadsheets. All right, you have to factor in the
Exactly.
human element.
A lot of intangibles that go into TFT.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a really good TFT player will motivate and encourage their units to play better. Because if you can't,
That's why I
do
always
that,
make
then-
sure to question mark ping my Yasuo when he ults like 5 people in TFT.
Yeah,
Gotta
and
keep
so
him in check.
if you can't do that for your team, then your team's not going to be able to do much for you.
Right. Yeah, your team has to, it's a team. This isn't, a battle royale. This is a group of teammates that are selected together, that you pull through as a team from,
Ooh,
round 1 to the end,
Oh,
and
6.
a big Urgot.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, you've
That's
got
a big
a
hit.
lot of really, really nice options here. And exactly, we're seeing a bit of some hesitation from Ty here. Like the question is like, yeah, we hit Urgot, which is great, but how do we fit this in without getting weaker? Right? So yeah, I think that's a good idea. Switching it over the Jin.
Yep.
Some consideration of going over the Action too and moving the Runons over to the Urgot. But these kinds of decisions seem really small in the moment and can really end up being the difference between 5 or 10 HP, and that can send you 4th versus 1st in a lot of games. Right? We saw Charybdis go on a 5-win streak with 1 HP earlier today. So every little HP can really make a difference in these final
Yeah,
levels.
if you've got 1 HP, you've got a chance to win. So I'm interested to see what all of these people who have proven that they know how to compete, maybe like pivot a little bit, will actually be able to come through. On the other hand, this is everybody's 4th game of the night. So this is when the fatigue starts to set in. That if you're on this bottom half of the ladder, it is very easy to check out and be like, you know what, I don't care. I just want to go to bed. It's just TFT. Like, who cares? This is where champions are made. This is where people buckle down and are ready to make something happen. All right, and I'm here to witness greatness.
All right, so I am pretty curious to head over to Apathy's board. He's been typing in chat saying he's grieving himself.
Let's see what this knucklehead is up to.
And he's been in 1st place all night. So he's playing Echo Reroll. Okay. He is grieving himself. All right, well.
Echo Rural I have never seen.
Yeah, there's good reason for that. I told you you can go now.
Unfortunately, that's not how we're rolling, Buster Brown.
At least he's got the final reserves. He's got the Pandora's items to try to hit the multiple Hand of Justices.
Yeah.
He's got a safety net to get down to 1 HP and get a bit of a buff there. Apathy, what is your Zon augment on your Echo? Is it Explosion? Yeah, it is.
You should get the Zon one that just spawns Maokai instead. I think that's what your board is missing, if I'm being honest. Basically, it's just BMing.
I love this game plan. If this works, I'm going to be very happy.
Yeah, this is
We're going full AP
there.
Echo.
Already having a TPFT trophy. I'm not sure if the motivation is there for another, but what we're seeing. I mean, Echo 2 is a big hit. one item off, potentially BIS on the Echo, I don't think you're out of it. I won't say you're in it. 45
this
HP as well.
it's a reasonable spot.
As we've been talking this whole time that like the only way to win this lobby is gonna be by playing crazy stuff that no one has ever had the courage to attempt before. And so that's kind of what we're here for. And even if it doesn't work out early game, it still might play because I guarantee you no one is contesting Echo reroll right now. And that's kind of what you need to be able to win in the final game. And so is this gonna get him all the way? Maybe, maybe not. But none of these people are gonna get all the way by playing something safe. That's what we know.
Joe Schmo rarely wins trophies. Okay,
Exactly.
That's what I'm talking
he's just
about.
another guy in the crowd.
Anyone can be good. It takes a mad person to be great.
Some
Right,
really
it
interesting
takes-
augments here. I
the courage to
love
believe.
that choice. I love that augment choice from Apathy. So he chose the augment that gives your units extra HP for every 3 cost unit on your board. And so if we look through right now, we've got 3 costs on there right now, with more to come. And this Echo also explodes when he dies and does damage proportionate to his max HP. So the more 3 costs you get, the more max HP he has, the more damage he does when he explodes, and the harder he's going to be to kill. So the more damage he's doing in the meantime. It's a very rare augment to see people actually pick, but in the right situations, it can make a huge difference for your game.
All right, we're going up against Charybdis, who's the only person in the health department lower right now. With either
Yeah,
Froyo,
That is
I'm
a
winning.
very strong board.
Froyo's doing work.
Oh, unable to get another hit on the Belveth, but probably would have got the. Might still win though.
Oh, this is going to be really close either way. This Belveth is really
Urgot
strong.
gets the cast.
Come on. Oh, Urgot, you enter. All right,
If
come
Echo
on,
was
Ash.
able to get that cast, that was most likely a victory.
Yeah, that's really close.
Wow. All right. So some interesting stuff for Apathy. We may want to come back and check in when he gets Echo 3 online just to see what it does.
Yeah,
What it do.
I kind of want to pop up to Phoebe Wonder.
Phoebe
see
Wonder,
what-
the absolute stunner, come out of nowhere.
Phoebe Wonder's just streaming Spotify right now. I'm
All
not
right, Phoebe
sure
Wonder,
they're
your
doing
stream
it
is on
purpose.
Spotify, my friend.
All right, well, let's go to Frozen then. In the meantime, actually, no. Let's do.
Let's go to Biscuit.
Yeah.
Let's go to Biscuit. See what she's up to.
Ari at level 9 already.
This is my favorite strat in this game. You literally just, into your early game, you take every econ and level augment you can, and you just go to 9 and buy everything. And if you live, you win. If you die, you lose.
That's exactly what you want in TTFT's final round. Remember, no one's going to remember anyone from 2 to 8. But everyone's going to remember this first.
For generations to come.
For generations of TTFTT gamers to come.
Yes.
All right, we got another Ari on there. That's an Ari too, actually, for Biscuit, if she actually gets there. And Apathy has to give it up. Wow, that is a big take.
After he does get the 5th you wanted, though.
Yeah, Apathy does hit the last hand of justice necessary for the Echo carry. But Biscuit's got like a fully itemized
Yeah.
RE2 on level 9 already.
That is scary at 4-4.
Nice.
Alright, Phoenix did fix stream, so we'll head over there after this.
Yeah. Well, I'm peeping.
I will show why Mexico is the best. Alright. I hope so, Biscuit. Wow, and halfway to level 10! And she's got 50 gold!
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Biscuit is in a pretty strong spot.
This is gross.
Low health, but like she's got the gold and she's got the units.
Hey, low health don't matter if you just win. Yeah, and we see the Action is also holding Belveth items at some point, so I'm sure that will turn into a Belveth. And we'll just see this random mix of all the good units. Belveth, Heimer, Ari. But Apathy's Echo is cooking.
Oh my god, He's going. He's doing the thing.
Action.
Oh my
Look
god.
at him go!
Oh
Look
my god.
Look at him
He is too
Look at him
clutch,
just-
man.
teleport across the map.
He is so clutch, bro.
That is so crazy.
That is not terrible odds. Still in it. Maybe can tank one
We have
more.
a hard check.
Maybe.
Somebody check the disc. Check
NPC.
check NPC right this instant.
How does he know who to attack? And why is it my Ori?
So I wonder what the other casters think of my idea, but there eventually needs to be an item in the game that lets you control the character.
I think that would be so unbelievably broken.
That would be so much fun. I literally just like teleport in and I just like only play sets where like my main is in it. So I'm just like one tricking a Nivea and TFT and I'm just like flashing in and like teching all over this like bot of an Ari who's like literally just like standing there.
Let's relax there.
I'm just saying, if you let me play versus one of these characters, I'm laying the boom down. All right, I'm going absolutely crazy on these scrubs. Get my
So,
Yone
yeah.
in there. I had like a 24 kill Yone game the other day. It was inspirational. I'm just saying, I'm absolutely doing that. If you let me control the TFT.
The 10.
I'm that guy. Give me my macros.
20, we
and
have
get me in
10?
there.
I'll most likely doing it after this scuttled crab.
Yeah. And so I love the strat that Biscuit is playing here. She's pretty much realized that the early game in these lobbies doesn't really exist. Not punished very much at all for losing early. Has chosen to go to level 10 very, very quickly. And it looks like Charybdis is taking a very similar strategy with that early loss streak and now a pretty decent win streak here. So we've got to figure out items.
Got the damage items, but like, does she have the front line? That's kind of what I'm curious about. And a Bramble on Aurelia is I'm not sure that Aurelia is like.
Oh, Lux
the
Parry
first
passed by.
item on.
Oh my gosh.
That is a capped board.
Me when I hit everything?
Yeah, that is.
Oh,
wild.
I
That's-
love Frozen's board is so strong.
Oh my god. I'm still rooting for Frozen, by the way, but it's.
Noctis.
Holy
get the first one.
cow.
Well,
Alright,
once he gets rolling on
Yeah,
his
that's a
back
lot
line,
of damage.
Good.
he gets it.
Lord.
Oh, really? It tanked it though.
Good heavens.
Yeah,
That
this is tough. This is really tough. This R unit is not balanced. And Ashley does end up
Ashley,
falling out in
the
8
first
there.
to fall in winner's bracket. It's a great showing. She
yeah,
came
great.
in. She competed. Happy to have her be part of it.
Yeah, very good performance overall from Ashley. Sorry we didn't get to see too much of her, unfortunately, throughout the night.
Yeah, came in second in her second lobby. So like, had a pretty strong showing. Glad she was here.
Yeah. So here, let's see. I am really curious to see how Soul is doing as we see their board show up now. They are playing the set reroll comp, but have not hit set 3. And it looks like they're playing full
tough.
tank set.
That makes the reroll quite difficult.
So yeah, at this point, it looks like they're starting to get a little bit outcapped by these super late level boards. Oh my
speaking of,
gosh, that was a lot of
that hurts
damage.
to see.
Wow.
TF2 rigged game GGs. Unfortunately, that's true. I'm sorry that we had to do it, Ashley. Play again next time, and maybe we'll rig it in your favor. But you have to spam more giveaway entries, and then you have more chances that the script gets written for you.
Twitch Prime, yeah, that gets you 10% damage buff on all your units as well.
Yeah.
But all right, okay. Apathy hit the Echo 3 and is on 1 HP. I need to see his board.
I
need to see it for
watching,
at least
I'm
one
playing, I'm hating. Let it be known.
All right,
With the triple chalice.
We might be here for a while. We might be leaving after this. I don't know. Boom!
Almost one shot.
Oh my god.
This is insane. What the hell?
Oh my
My favorite
god.
thing about this Echo is that if he ever dies, which he won't, he just explodes and also does 1 million damage.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of what we were talking about. Like, if you want to win this
Hush
lobby,
time.
you have to be doing some dumb shit.
You've got to be cooking, yeah. You
Oh
gotta
my
be cooking.
god.
Explosion is fake. Yeah, his explosion is totally fake. It does
12K
nothing if he dies
damage.
last. So
All right, look at how close this lobby is. They're 29 health between first and sixth right now. That is so little, and you can't really ask for a more exciting like final couple of fights.
oh my gosh, and Apathy takes the Zephyr, which could make all the difference in a lot of these front-loaded fights.
Yeah, Apathy, what he lacks in optimism, he makes up for in the big brain Zephyr plays. So we'll see which of those factors ends up coming through right here.
One of the few players I trust the Zephyr in the hand.
Oh yeah, if the Martians come to Earth and we have to get one shot to save humanity, I'm taking Apathy with the Zephyr. All right, that's say no more.
All right,
He's
I'm
not-
praying for
he's
this Echo to do
straight up
work
not
here.
using it right now, and that's a little bit concerning.
No, he's just waiting to use it.
He's plotting. He's thinking.
And Ty did end up going for that Ash 3 carry, which is pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Really surprising pick there.
Which is kind of that's what we've been saying the whole time. Like that's kind of what these people need is some surprising like last minute plays.
Meta schmeta.
This Echo is so disgusting.
Oh, and Phoenix does fall out in 6th there, unfortunately.
Oh my god, they're dropping like flies. Frozen
Wow,
went out
Phoenix
in
started
front.
out with such an HP advantage too, and
know, this
just
is
bled
crazy.
out. That
All
is
right, so
so
we are
tough.
in top 4 for the FTT3. We've got Charybdis, Sprite Cranberry, Biscuit, and Apathy. This has been a really exciting couple of matches. Just for the record, so Charybdis' highest finish tonight has been second. No, it's first. He was first once, second twice. So you gotta love that. Apathy came in first once. He came in first twice, excuse me, and third. And Biscuit is, let's see, fifth, third, and finished. I'm checking my spreadsheet data, and sixth. So Biscuit's already outperforming some of her performances so far, which is kind of what makes this exciting. Like I want that to follow through. You know, I
what
want
an
someone
Echo Dash, man.
who hasn't just been smurfing the entire
wait.
night so
Is
far.
this it?
It
That's
is.
it?
It is. So now
Oh,
Biscuit pulls
motion.
ahead. So even though Apathy comes in first twice tonight, he finishes fourth in the last game. And like it's very easy to broadcasters sit and say like, oh, he should have done this, he should have done this. You need to play something weird. You need to play something weird, and he played something that was really exciting and interesting, fun to play, and it didn't quite work out. Which is like, what are you gonna do? You know,
I'm
there's
gonna
not
head
much you
to
can play around
Charybdis'
that.
perspective here.
Yeah, let's see what's going on.
But yeah, Apathy, you know, a great TFT player, past TFT champion, and actually the brain behind the very first TTFTT as well. So everything tonight is at least partially due to Apathy's
Right. The Jerry
love
West
of the game.
of TTFT.
Yeah, he's the logo. Apathy is the logo of the TTFTT. All right, let's see what we're going to use with this final item. I always love me a good Thieves Gloves, but I understand the Shroud. I understand that too. Fran was singing the praises of that very item earlier tonight, even though I love me some good Thieves Gloves.
The Thieves Glove was made for the finale.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So
The
it's
Thieves Glove was made for the finale. You don't know what you're going to get, but that, you
you're
don't
going
want
to
to know
get
what you're going
something.
to get. This.
You're gonna get content.
I feel like I am the cringe player in the group because I'm taking Shroud there 100% of the time.
Yeah, that's what like Shroud is much more consistent, and like I get it. But God, wouldn't it have been fun to see some random Thieves Gloves tech?
And
All right,
Down
that's
to the
And
final.
Ty is out
Tie
in
going
third.
down, I believe. All right, so we're down to our final two players. We've got Biscuit, who's done well tonight. She's played her way into the final bracket, but hasn't quite pulled it through and won one of the lobbies yet. Whereas Charybdis has, and so I'm looking for this kind of underdog versus overdog mentality. Like we have the winning pedigree, versus the absolute like scrappy player who's earned her way here. And so I want to see something. I want to see some crazy finishes to this, even though both of these team comps are
And
basically.
oh
just
my
like,
gosh, these are some capped boards, man.
I was gonna say both of these are just like all 5-cost units.
2-star
Like,
5-cost,
haymaking
Biscuits
each other in
level
the face.
10, both fully upgraded Heimer turrets, both playing Ari carry.
Oh my god.
This
And
is
it
really
is so hard to
It's
even
just a battle of
understand.
the Belveth right now.
Oh, man,
Belveth,
it looks
yeah,
like
Belveth.
Charybdis is coming away with this first round at least.
It does. It does.
This should not be enough to kill yet. I don't think. All right, one more
It's
life.
so
One more
close.
life.
It's so close. I'm gonna quick swap over to Biscuit's perspective and just watch this final round and see if I can watch like some crazy last
Get us the
minute
Biscuit
Getting a
tech.
Senna would be so big. Unable to. That might cost a Scion, a one-off Scion 2 and Senna 2. That is
Yeah,
heartbreaking.
that's pretty
That is
unlucky.
heartbreaking.
Bad RNG for sure. Biscuit's gonna try and reposition around the board. She's got the level 10, so she's fully capped out. She's just gotta kind of hope that some of these units come through. Maybe the Cassante gets like a clutch Ari pick off the board. All we can see right now, there is that mana reaving going on at the start is so devastating because it doesn't really let any of the front line like get tanky. And right now, this Rise and this Center are doing their absolute best to work, but it's just not quite enough to deal with the enemy Belveth, which is just so powerful there as it's fighting the Aatrox in the bottom right of my screen. Oh my god, this is so close.
Wow.
But it
And
just barely doesn't
Charybdis
come through.
takes home yet another TTFTT championship under his belt.
It's early GOAT candidate.
Early TTFTT GOAT argument. Charybdis is absolutely him. And, you know, we said it at the top of the broadcast. Charybdis was by far the favorite heading into this tournament, with probably Apathy in a close second as well, and a whole lot of other contenders that popped up throughout the night. Really well played series by Charybdis today. But how about Biscuit? I mean, pulling it up for the second place in the final lobby. Pretty much a huge surprise that no one saw coming here. And not to forget some great competition by some of our other players here today as well.
Absolutely. I feel like I'm just so inclined to shout out Phoebe, shout out Biscuit, shout out Ashley. That like we had some really exciting players kind of battle their way through those first couple of lobbies to make it into the final match. And like still competed in that final match. You know, like watching Phoebe barely clutch out a first place against Charybdis in that third lobby, which secured them into the tiebreaker spot to make final match. It's just so exciting. That's like why we do these events, and so I've had a really good time, and I've really appreciated all the games going on tonight.
Yeah, all right, and that's going to just about wrap it up for us here at the TTFTT. I want to do a quick shout out here to our producer, Mr. Mountain Mike. Thank you so much for your wonderful help throughout the night. You've been fantastic. And Polar and Kraken, of course, for you folks and all of our players today. I appreciate you guys joining us. All of our players were on time and super responsive to communication as well.
That was so nice.
I love you guys. You
Shout out Luke.
saved me migraines. I cannot overstate how helpful and appreciative I am of all of that. So thank you everybody for being involved tonight. Really great showing by all of our competitors. And once again, congratulations for Charybdis on another TTFTT crown.
All right.
All right.
Good stuff. All right. Good night, gamers. Signing off.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.